recorded that a long fucking time ago.
Yeah, for real.
Welcome to 2024, people. I'm Devin.
I'm Trey.
And I'm Austin. Hello.
I'm glad you went ahead and did it because I was going to say, introduce yourself, please. I don't like to introduce on behalf of people because I like to hear how they describe what they do because sometimes people say stuff that I'm not expecting.
Sure. Yeah. My name is Austin. I guess we talk about audio stuff here. So I make house music, like lo-fi house music under the name Pedal Days. I also work as an audio tech on sports broadcasts. So yeah, I like the microphones and the XLR cables and all that stuff. It's kind of my jam.
Right on. You're in good company.
Hell yeah.
The sports broadcast part, is that relatively new?
4 years. I've been doing it 4
Okay.
years. Yeah. It's an interesting way I got into it. I played in a band in high school, right? So I got like a little bit of tech knowledge, like barely anything. But I learned how to run a mixer and like put it through PA speakers.
Right.
I went to college for business, did nothing for 2 years, and then basically had a panic attack once it was finally time to pick a major. So what I ended up doing, like in my, just high as shit in college, like just baked out of my mind, I found out that I could volunteer at a local venue just to get like my hands dirty. So I took like a general business major because I figured it would be the easiest thing, and then just started getting my hands dirty. And like, I was there like once a week, and then the guy who ran the place took a liking to me and he hired me. So then I was doing all kinds of odd jobs, like, roadieing for a band locally, doing lighting in a church.
You want to shout out the venue?
Yeah, so it was called Venue 578, and the guy's name was Gary Garrison. Gary, if
Oh yeah,
I love that guy. He's so great, man. He's gotten so many of us our start, and he's just he's good people. The venue is now called Vanguard. I think if anyone knows about it, they would refer to it as Vanguard. It used to be called Firestone.
I know of the Vanguard.
Yep, that's it.
Orlando.
Yep, in Orlando. Yep, that's it.
Seriously?
Oh,
yes, sir.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean,
That's sick.
it took a hell of a renovation before it became Vanguard. Like
Okay.
it's mad different now. I've seen
Right.
pictures. It used to be super cool, man. It was I think now it's like one big stage. What it used to be was like 4 stages, specifically for the Thursday EDM nights. Those were the nights that I would go and volunteer and, plug in CDJs and just like talk to Gary. And like, I would hang out with a bunch of kids from Full Sail because everyone there was volunteering from Full Sail. They needed,
Yeah, of course.
they needed volunteer hours. And I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. Like, please let me work. Like, let me just get my hands on some sound equipment because I just need to figure something out.
Yeah.
So where am I going with this? So on the Thursdays they had an EDM night. There was a main stage with the main stage stuff. A lot of main stage-esque music on there. Whatever, what have you.
Whatever, mainstream.
It was kind of a roll of the dice. But whatever was on main stage. There was a side room which was like we called it like the basement. And it was just like really high ceilings, like chandeliers, really compact, and that was just like heavy bass music. So that was like one of the more popular rooms. And then outside was a patio with another DJ set up, kind of like minimal house vibes out there usually. And then upstairs was like a lounge with like only house music. So you had like all these different vibes going on at once.
That's
It
cool.
was so sick. Like,
That's really
yeah,
cool.
we
That
do
is
the
really
setup for a couple hours, and then all of us who were volunteering, basically nothing ever went wrong. So we're just on standby. So yeah, you just like walk around and find a vibe and just like chill, and like it was so sick.
I know of the Vanguard because I went and that's where I saw Deadmau5 live.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds like a good time. I saw him at a Imagine a long time ago. It was super cool, but fuck Imagine Festival. I'm not a fan. Dude, it's in the middle of the Atlanta Motor Speedway, not the place to take acid. It's just not the vibe, dude.
In the middle of a speedway?
Yeah, the Atlanta Motor Speedway. That's where they held it. At least I assume they're still doing it like that. I don't really know though. I don't really keep up with it.
Is that like a symmetrical like NASCAR type track?
It's
Or
a
is that-
NASCAR track. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
okay.
Yep. Yeah, and you're in the middle of the NASCAR track.
That's crazy.
It's a weird vibe, and the thing that really
It's
threw
like
me off.
fun, honestly.
Yeah,
Maybe
yes
not
and
for an
no.
EDM festival.
Yeah, it's like
For like a rock concert, absolutely.
Right,
A
I
rock
feel that.
festival or something.
it's like then you go camp outside and you're like in like a NASCAR parking lot, and it's like
Yeah,
you're
dude.
not in the forest like Okeechobee.
Yeah.
You're not near
I
trees.
can
You're not
see
near
that, yeah.
nature, and like
Yeah.
everyone's strung out on fucking psychedelics. So it's like it's a weird spot. And the one thing that I fucking hate that festival for is like we're walking away from a stage, and me and the girl I'm dating at the time, we're both cracked on whatever the fuck. And
Crack.
As you do.
and
just kidding.
we're just walking away from the stage and we hear a motorcycle start. We look to our right and there's a fucking ball of death. Do you guys know what that is?
I don't.
It's the big Page ball or sphere.
Yes.
And someone
With
starts
the-
a motorcycle.
Oh my
and
God.
starts riding around it. And we're not watching this because
Oh,
we're
hell
entertained.
yeah.
We're watching this because we're horrified.
Oh,
We are absolutely horrified. And then another motorcycle gets in there. And before you know it, we're standing there for 5 minutes, just like not even conscious, watching 4 people do the fucking. I mean, it's impressive.
Bro,
You
that
got to
sounds
give them
sick.
their flowers.
yeah.
It is pretty sick. But when you're like on 2 tabs or whatever the fuck at a festival,
Yeah.
we're watching this, and I'm literally the whole time just thinking, I'm going to see someone die. I'm going to see someone die. So one of these guys is going to die.
I
Okay.
see what
And
you're saying.
eventually
Yeah,
we're like,
yeah, that'll do it.
we like come to and we look at each other like, let's just walk away from this. Like, let's get away from like.
I know exactly the feeling you're describing, because that I'm going to watch someone die feeling. I get that just if I walk in public tripping, period. Like if I go anywhere, I'm just
I
like,
mean, yeah, maybe next
I'm going to
time.
die or I'm going to watch someone die. One time me and my buddies were tripping, and I won't name them because I don't think they would want me to tell this, include them in the story. But we took it like at a very late time, like later than normal. It was like 1 or 2 a.m. when we first took it, and we didn't like peak until like 3 or 4. And we were at a friend's house, and I'm going to shorten, condense this, get to the scary part. We were driving around my buddy's car. We were driving to somewhere to go by the water. That's what I'll say. And the drive there was at like peak early traffic times. And his car was manual and it was older, and it also had like a turbo or something. So every time he would shift to go like crazy,
No.
and it was all cramped and shit. And like every weaving through traffic, and he was like, I took way more than they did. I took like more, like double than what they did combined, I think. And so
Sounds right.
I was tweaking way more than they were, and I trust homie to drive. Like I trust his driving pretty strongly, but still in that state, I felt like we were going to crash into like another planet or something.
Oh man.
Like I was like I was freaking out.
Yeah, so we don't get too derailed. I think
Yeah,
I was
sorry.
no, you're good. That was fun. I think we were at Vanguard,
Yeah.
and yeah, so I worked
That
there
was
for a
your
while.
first thing?
Yeah, first sound gig more or less. First sound gig was really just like working for Gary, doing like odd jobs and whatnot. I learned a lot working for this band. There was a band called My Generation in Orlando. I'm not sure if they're still doing it.
Interesting.
It was a bunch of like like middle-aged guys, and they did like cover bands from like the 80s kind of vibe, and they were always playing. They would do like 2 nights. So I would pick up their trailer right off I-4. I mean, if anyone knows about I-4, you know what I'm going to say about I-4. It's the worst highway in fucking America. It is so disgusting. It should be illegal, but they can't do construction on it because if they shut down I-4, Orlando breaks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's a mess. Anyway, so I would pick up their trailer with thousands and thousands of dollars of sound equipment on my truck. I was like the perfect roadie for them because I have an F-150, so I could pick up their trailer, drive it to the place, and then set up a bunch of stuff, whatever. All right, cool. So yeah, I would pick up their trailer and have to get on I-4 at like 7:30 in the morning on a Friday. And dude, oh my God, I was petrified every single time. No music, right lane, 10 and 2 on the wheel.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah,
we're going slow.
I-
Going slow. I'm not
Yep.
changing lanes. I don't give a fuck. Like we're just going straight. And when you're on I-4, you're not even going straight. You're like, it's ridiculous. So yeah, that was a cool gig. Yeah, just to kind of wrap up the story. I moved out of Orlando. I came back to Stuart. Moved in with my parents. They're like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, you're doing sound in Stuart. Like, good luck, kid. Like, go get a job." So I like
Valid.
kind of just camped at their
It's a
place.
job, Mom.
It was, but
Not here.
I couldn't stand Orlando anymore, so I had to get out of there. It was 5 years. I was done with it.
Orlando and Miami, I hate.
Yeah, I cannot stand I could bitch about Miami for this whole podcast. So I ended up. This story's cool. I was going to bed one time at my parents' house, and I'm like, dude, like tomorrow I just have to go find a job. I'm gonna go apply to restaurants. Like I got to do something. Like I'm just being a loser right now. So I wake up that morning and my friend hits me up and he's like, yo, dude, you want to go to Cato's Bridge and have a good fucking day today? And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's go.
Yeah.
So I go to Cato's and he hits up his friend, JT, and his girlfriend at the time, Caitlin. So they come and hang out with us. And, I'm just talking to JT. I'm like, yeah, what do you do, man? And he's like, oh, I do like audio for sports broadcasts. And I literally, like, my jaw probably dropped out. I literally said to him straight up, so awkward. I was like, dude, can you give me a job? And he was like, I mean, yeah, kind of like I was like, I'll work for you for free. I don't care, dude. Like, I need something. And like, that sounds really cool. And if, he lives in Jupiter, so it's like, we're local.
Mm.
He brought me out to the Astros spring training field in West Palm a couple times. And I just worked for free for him and like learned the ropes. And before I knew it, like maybe a month, maybe 2 months later, they hired me on that show and I've been doing it ever since.
That's fucking
So
cool.
that's
That
kind of how the
is-
story goes. A lot of working for free. I'm very fortunate that I've had the opportunity to work for free. Like in college, I didn't have to do like I didn't really have to make money. My shit was kind of paid for, which is like mad fortunate. So I took that opportunity and worked for free. And then when I was living with my parents, again, in a fortunate position where I can like, I told them like, listen, let me just like fucking do this shadowing and volunteering, and let me see if I can make this happen, because this is like too good of an opportunity to pass up. And they were like, yeah, do what you want. Like, you got a place to stay. So yeah, if you can manage it, like, find a cool job and work for free, like, it'll take you somewhere.
Well,
sure.
in those situations where you were kind of like volunteering and or working for free with those people, since it was going somewhere and you were kind of like gaining an education and very valuable experience, what it's because it sounds more to me like you just picked up like a series of apprenticeships.
Yeah,
more so than like work, because that is like a very valid thing, like a very valid phenomenon of working for free, especially in audio.
Yeah,
Trust me, Devin and I, we know.
yeah, it's
and
unfortunate when you get forced into that.
Yeah.
If it's like something that you choose to do, it's cool. But yeah,
it's just an obstacle. It's a challenge to overcome and to navigate in this day and age where, like, I like the idea of apprenticeships or internships and whatever on paper, but sometimes you need to make money.
Well, it's a matter,
man.
Sometimes you need to make money.
Well,
and sometimes you get taken advantage of by people who just keep taking your free labor. It
really boils down to the mentor, and their intent in providing you with this knowledge, whether they want to use you as a tool to their own ends or they want to actually prepare you to be a functioning member of whatever.
Yeah, I got kind of screwed doing it once. I think it was post COVID. COVID totally fucked up my sports broadcasting thing.
Understandable.
And I was at a little show in Jensen, and there was a guy running live sound, and I was just so desperate for work. I go up to him like, dude, like, do you need any like roadies or anything? Like, I know how to wrap cables and I know how to like do all this stuff. Like,
over under, like, bro. I know,
dude. Over under is my fucking Bible. Anyway, he was like, yeah, dude. Like, I run a lot of like open mics and like live sound things, and I have 2 setups. And honestly, I have more work than I know what to do with. So if I could train you up and have you be able to do this stuff, I could like send you out and give you a cut, and you do it yourself. And I was like, fuck yeah. He's like, cool. Come to this open mic.
So we love to see,
dude. Well, I thought. He was like, come to this open mic. I'll get you trained up on how to run an X32. And
forgot you're going somewhere negative with.
So yeah, dude, I went to this open mic in Fort Pierce, I think, like right.
That was your first red flag
near the right near the inlet. And I probably ran it with him like 10 fucking times, bro. And he would throw me like a 20 maybe, which is fine. I didn't really care about the money. He was kind of just giving me gas money. Maybe like he would like buy like me a plate of chicken fingers or something, which is cool. And it was fun. And I got to learn like a little bit of live mixing, which is kind of its own thing. I'm still not good at that. Anyway, it just got to a point where like I just stopped going, bro, because it was like 10 times in or something, and I'm like, hey man, like, is this gonna go anywhere? And he's like, yeah, because it's sort of kind of like false promisey in a way.
What was the idea of where it was supposed to go?
Yeah, so I was supposed to be able to like run an open mic for him without him being there, right? Because he had more gigs than he apparently knew what to do with, but it just kind of didn't go anywhere. It just kind of fizzled out. Just like anything in like real life, it just kind of didn't. Yeah. It just didn't happen. You know what I mean? So that was a bummer, and the COVID struggle continued.
Yeah, I want to interject a little bit, and I want to get back to your work path in a second. But you brought up COVID. What was different during COVID?
Like, my whole work schedule. That was really tough. COVID was 1 year into me doing sports broadcasting. We just came back around a year later to spring training, and they put me on the package, which is so huge. Like your first year in the business to get a package, which means like you have like, these 10 games on these dates and you kind of get them all at once.
Okay.
Is like
nice.
So fat. Like I barely even get packages at this point. I'm 4 years in. So to have that was like so sick. We got 1 game in, we did 1 game. I think it got rained out and I still got paid for it, which was like so sick. Cause like within 24 hours, it's like they still pay the broadcast crew. So I'm like stoked. So then like, game 2 is in like 4 days, and then like March, whatever the fuck hit. And I remember hitting up JT. I'm like, dude, like, what's gonna happen? And he's like, Austin, I have no fucking clue what's going on, bro. And then that shit just like got kicked to the curb, and I didn't get put back on the fucking spring training thing.
Damn.
Yeah.
At least you got that nice free one in.
So,
yeah, right. So then there was like a year and a half of like working in bars, bar backing, working for my dad at a semi truck shop, like just making it happen. You know what I mean?
So what happened to? Once you're excluded from it, what happened to that package and the games that were supposed to play? Did they eventually? I don't really remember like what was going on in sports during that year because I would never really followed sports.
So like in the immediate effect, like sports are kind of just like low key canceled.
Okay,
I think within a year they kind of started to do bubble stuff, which means
NBA was doing weird shit.
Right? Yeah, we're like no fans, and they would just put like advertising in the fucking seats. So there was
Cardboard
that.
cutouts of people.
Yeah, there was
People
that
on
going
screens.
on. I don't know how much we want to get into like the shot conversation, but I like did not get the shot, and I kind of turned down
Me neither.
work to get to avoid that. And that dude, me and my dad used to argue every fucking day. He's like, dude, just get the fucking shot and get to work. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing it.
Mhm.
And eventually stuff started to like kind of chill out. But my big thing with the shot was like, I'm like, if I get the shot and then I get implemented with these companies that are like obliging by like you have to have a shot. Then in like 6 months, I feel like they're gonna be like, hey, you need to get a second shot now. And sure fucking enough, bro.
Yeah,
I got
that's
these
exactly what happened.
yeah, I got these emails from this company called Roz. Good people. You know, they're a huge company. I think it's ESPN making them do this stuff. So, you know,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
really not their fault,
Parent
whatever.
companies.
But yeah, I used to get emails from them all the time like, hey, here's the gig, here's the position we need, here's the date. Also at the bottom, you have to have a COVID shot. And then 6 months later, it was like, you have to have a COVID shot and one booster. And I was like, I fucking called it. I mean, I'm not a fucking,
If-
clairvoyant, but
I'm grateful that I was not in a position where anybody, where I was forced or put into a corner or asked to do that.
Yeah.
But if I was, I'm not shy in saying I would just fake it. I would like get a forged
I
like
tried
thing.
to.
Easy.
I really tried
Yeah.
to. I talked to a lot of people.
I knew someone who advertised that they were making them.
Yeah.
But I didn't-
especially since it would only have to be effective for like a year and a half. Because here we are in 2024.
Nobody
Yeah.
gives a shit
and,
anymore.
and
just kinda
COVID's
fizzled out.
already completely been forgotten from the public
Yeah.
zeitgeist. And so it's like, okay,
Yeah.
I had to commit a tiny little fraud for like a year. Oops.
Don't you remember
Right.
Ukraine canceled COVID?
Is that how it works?
True.
That's when it happened. That's when it
Yeah.
it was a running joke in general. Just like when that war broke out, we're not going to get too deep into this. When that war broke out, everybody just like was so shocked about modern countries going to war when it like not never, but it hasn't really been happening much in like the last, our time, kind of our lifetimes.
Yeah.
And so when they see that, they're like, oh, people just forgot. Like people were just like, yeah,
Yeah.
COVID, just like
We got
whatever.
we got something else to put in the news.
Yeah.
So whatever
Yeah.
was happening isn't happening anymore.
Yeah, crazy.
Who would win the octagon?
Zelensky.
Yeah.
I think Putin was.
That would be a
would
hell of a
rock his
fight.
shit.
not
Yeah,
gonna
right.
say- Dude, like all jokes aside, damn, that would probably be sick.
Putin would probably rock his shit unless he's actually sick, like people say he is.
I
There's
have no
rumors.
idea.
So after the Vanguard, is it Vanguard or the Vanguard?
I think it's the Vanguard, but I don't think anyone's going to crucify you for
Yeah,
saying
well,
the wrong
yeah.
one.
So after Vanguard, we derailed the story. So
Oh yeah, no, I pretty much
I
finished.
pretty
it.
much-
Yeah,
we got into 4
it was-
years.
It was back to Stewart, and then it was like a little bit of like a year of sports broadcasting, and then COVID,
And COVID.
fucking horseshit.
and then
it
oh yeah.
was-
So how's the recovery been? Of since
it was
COVID?
slow, but it happened.
Yeah.
Something that I got myself into was so a little background on my job. There's in the audio spectrum of the live sports broadcast, there is an A1 and an A2 traditionally. The A1 is in the production truck mixing the show. All the audio feeds come to him, and he's responsible for everything you hear on the broadcast, music, court sounds or whatever, broadcast announcers.
Damn, how many
and-
channels is that?
It's a good amount. I mean, it depends on the show, dude. It
Mm.
could be anywhere from like, a good like 10 channels of audio to I can't even give you a number of channels of audio. You
Damn.
feel me? But what you're also responsible for is like all the communications in the truck, because it's like everyone in the truck, replay, director, producer, this guy, that guy, whoever the fuck. Everyone has like a panel where they can talk and listen to everyone.
Okay.
And then all the people at a camera have a headset and they're doing the same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there's like little belt pack, little comms things that tie into that system
Mhm.
out in the field for different positions. And that all ties into it. And it goes through this software called AZ Edit, which is the bane of my fucking existence. That shit is so scary, dude.
What is that?
It is a system for controlling all the
Yeah.
comms. And it's just gnarly, dude. It's not user friendly at all. And like everyone who has been using it for much use, like it's not that bad once you get into it, but like it's hard to break into.
Mm.
It's like looking at Ableton for the first time. You know what I mean? You're just like, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So
I got. So you've done it professionally, but so I'm not trying to directly compare because it's different. But I got a little taste of doing in booth like broadcast stuff in high school, because my school, I was in video production, and we actually had like a studio, and it was older gear, but it was still like still production like standard stuff. And so we would broadcast live doing the news for the school.
Nice.
Like
yeah.
it wasn't just pre-recorded or whatever. It was every single day. Second period gets to broadcast the news, and
Well,
they
like
have
over the loudspeakers in the school or something?
they would live stream it.
To like TVs in the classroom?
Yeah, to a projector. Yeah, there was a website that they would stream to.
That's so
Everybody
cool.
just taps in, and
And you did it live. That's
Yeah.
That's interesting.
they would do it live. Everything was done live. The control room was doing everything: graphics, teleprompter.
Yeah, that's so sick.
There was a director, just two camera operators, two anchors in front at a desk on front of a green screen. It was legit.
yeah, that's super cool.
That
Yeah,
was really fun.
I went to Jensen Beach and they had that too. They had TV Pro. Shout out to Mr. Hines. What a legend.
And messing around on the comms was really funny.
Yeah, yeah. No, we're doing that on
Yeah.
professional broadcasts too. I'm not on like the super big shit, but yeah, it's almost always just a bunch of shit talking.
Yeah.
I had one where I was on. I was actually, this is a big broadcast. It was Messi's first game. I was up in the booth,
Oh damn.
and my A1 for that was this guy Dave. Dave is fucking great people.
Who's
Like
he
he's
played for again?
Miami FC.
Miami,
It's Miami FC, right? Okay, yeah.
'Cause I knew
Anyway.
that- I knew he came to America, but I forget.
Yeah. He went right to Miami, played a couple games, and then like hasn't played at all apparently or
Oh.
something. I don't know. I don't really keep up with it that much, but anyway, I actually it wasn't his first game. It was later. I was there for his first game, but it was like a later game in the season. I think it was like some like tournament they were playing in or championship game or whatever. I don't follow soccer enough to really answer that. Anyway, the comms thing. My A1 was this guy Dave, and he's the fucking man. I love this guy, but he's such a bastard at the same time. You know what I mean? And like, and he's like on the comms, and everything's working. So we're just like bullshitting. So it's like there's an A2 on the field, there's an A2 in the booth, and then there's Dave, and we're all on like the same comms channel. We're in the headsets or whatever, and like. We're just like fucking with each other the whole time. And like anytime anyone gets Dave with any joke, he just like puts his microphone back into the speaker and puts a bunch of feedback in our fucking ears that makes it like super loud. Or he like puts a microphone in his mouth and just like blows into it.
That's
Like,
hilarious.
so like to get him back, I was, Messi wasn't playing that game. And I'm like, yo, Dave, I just read online that Messi isn't playing because he got Ligma. And then he goes, Ligma, what the fuck is that? I was like, yeah, lick my fucking balls. He's like, you fucking piece of shit. I could fucking, yeah, I bet I could lick your fucking balls, but no one's done that for you in a fucking year, piece of shit. And he went off, so it was so funny.
No
And
way.
then, like, yeah, like another, like halfway through the game, he was fucking with us again. So I was like, yo, Dave, on the real, the announcers are asking for Candace. Is Candace in the truck? Do you know her? And he goes, what, Kansas? I was like, no, Candace dick fit in your mouth? He's like, you piece of shit. Yeah, of course it can. It's so fucking small. You what? Oh my god. This is like major broadcast shit.
Bro, that's hilarious.
You know what's so funny? I was just about to ask. One of the questions I want to ask about this is like what the kind of people were that you often work with.
Yeah.
in this like field. It sounds very similar.
Similar to what we've
Dude.
experienced.
Yeah, it seems like a very like a sister trade to running like live audio at a
Yeah,
concert
it's
venue.
always good people in TV. I swear, man.
Yeah.
Like, you run into the oddball, like jackass, whatever. It happens. It definitely happens. But it's like, we're talking like for my experience, like 1 out of every 25, 30 people I meet, I'm like, I don't really know about this guy. But most people are like, they're so nice. People are generally very happy to be there. And the thing is, even if you work with someone a lot, you don't see them all the time, right?
Right,
So it's
yeah.
like you can have coworkers that you're cool with, but it's just like you see them every day. So it's like,
Mhm.
you can only be such good friends. You're just kind of sick of each other. But it's like if we see each other once, maybe twice a week, maybe more, maybe less. It's like we're chilling. We have stuff to talk about if we need to. Like there's new stuff going on, whatever. So yeah, I mean the TV people are like one of the best parts about it.
I think there's two main types of people you got to look out for, and it's those who are just stuck up assholes in general, and then who take things way overly seriously, and then the people who are just too dumb and should not be in that job or that field at all.
Yeah, I've seen that a
That's
couple
the
times.
two worst things.
I'm no aficionado, but
No, but there are people who just can't think critically about anything
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Oh
And-
my god, there's this one
or
lady-
logically, because I
There's
guess it's a lot more.
There's this one
but-
person doing a job called utility, and utility is essentially just like hands. You're basically just hands. Like if heavy stuff needs to be carried, that's utility. You should be able to wrap cables really well. You're basically just hands. You're like slightly more educated hands. But if you can over under a cable, you could utility successfully, right?
Gotcha.
Okay. And I'm not gonna say any names. So there's this one lady who's just like clearly developing like early onset dementia or something, and it's insane, bro. Like how she keeps getting hired because she like actively like slows everything down. It's nuts. It's like if you're like, hey, what does A plus B equal C here? And she'll be like, I think so. I think Devin told me that C is D and F is G, and you're just like, God, any information that goes through your head, just it's not reliable. It's like it's almost more complicated. It's like now I got to go straight to Devin and ask him like directly, even though you should kind of know this. Like, oh, it's gnarly, and that happens, but it's rare. But it's interesting because usually the people hiring,
if you wanted to encrypt any information, you just give it to her.
yeah, dude,
But
no,
it
literally,
passes
it's like
through her brain.
Yeah, exactly.
it's like encryption. That's so funny. That's really what it is, dude. It's gnarly. And then she'll like ask you, like, I'm on the audio team, so any camera cable is just like not my job.
Yeah.
That's just, I'll just put it like that simply, not my job. And she will ask me so many goddamn questions about like fiber and camera cables, and I'm just like, dude, I don't know, and I'm not supposed to know, and you should know that I don't know. So like, what are we doing here? Oh,
That would be very frustrating.
yeah.
Oh my god.
So hell yeah, TV's a hell of a gig.
Yeah,
Fun stuff.
that sounds really fun, honestly.
Yeah, I'm stoked. I'm going to be on an NHL game here soon, and that's the only sport I would be excited to work. Everything I was telling you guys before the podcast, like everything else is like sure, whatever. I don't really want to work bare knuckle, but I'll do it because bare knuckle is the most fucking gnarly shit I've ever seen. It's almost too gnarly.
Bare
Really?
knuckle? Like
Bare
fighting?
knuckle fighting.
Oh.
Yeah, bare knuckle.
You don't want to see that?
Dude, the first time, yeah, I wanted to see it, and a lot of people have hyped it up.
Hmm.
And then I went to the first one, and it's just so gnarly. It's really just that gnarly. It's like usually I'm like ringside, so it's like I'm like right there. And dude, these guys are just bloody as shit. People are just knocked out super quick. The rounds are like, I'm gonna guesstimate, but it's like 2-minute rounds, 3 rounds, that's it. And like that's really short, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because people are just out, bro.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not worth like making it a longer fight. People just go out. There's a lot of arguments that bare knuckle is actually like safer in a lot of ways because it's like single trauma as opposed to repeated trauma. Like if you look at boxing, like you're
Mhm.
taking like shot after shot after shot
And-
shot after shot.
That's
And I could imagine the argument could be made because I've heard similar arguments for like really old school football that doesn't have padding and helmets and shit. Because the argument was if you're less protected or you have less reason to believe you're protected, you're going to go less hard on other people
Oh,
also.
interesting.
So it kind
Yeah.
of overall becomes less.
Oh, who knows?
violent.
Dude, football
I don't know
is
if-
a mess.
I don't know if that is like I don't know fully. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I can understand the argument.
Dude, you bring up football, slightly unpopular opinion, dude. Football is so gnarly too. It's so gnarly. I did not realize how many injuries happen in football. I just
absolutely,
didn't
dude.
know. And then like
oh yeah.
this year, I started paying attention to it because generally with my job, if all the microphones are working during the game, I can just like watch fucking Family Guy on my phone. Like that's just how it works. If I don't have anything to do, I can just scroll through my phone. So I'm almost never watching the game. And then this past year, I just started watching more games. Just I don't know why, I just did. So you know, I work a lot of FAU football, and I just started to realize I was like, I used to think like, oh, I saw someone get injured. I was like, damn, like that happened this game. Then I realized like, no, someone gets carted off every game, every goddamn game. And then I watched like NFL because the Dolphins were good this year, so I was watching a bunch with my dad. Someone's getting carted off like every game.
And you were talking about FAU football. You want to talk about all these college football players who up until like very recently were getting concussed and carted off for free for the longest
Yeah.
time.
Oh my god, yeah.
Or
Like-
is it not free anymore? What do you mean?
No, like, well, they used
Oh,
to do
College,
that.
college
Right, they are
players,
getting paid.
yeah,
Yeah,
Are they getting paid now or something? Is that
They-
a thing?
I think
they're able to monetize their image, like they're
I think I remember hearing that. Yeah.
like I don't know the exact legal wording, but
right.
along the lines of the same way that professional athletes can take brand deals and sponsorship
Right.
and all these stuff.
Yeah, because the school's selling their jerseys.
Yeah.
So it's like,
right.
Exactly.
dude, like at least
The school is making money off them. The school is making way more money off them than the cost of covering their tuition or whatever.
100%.
Guaranteed.
Oh my
100%.
god, like 100x, if not more.
So they deserve to be able to monetize.
Yeah, so that's super gnarly. I got an argument with someone not too long ago. They were like,
I'm realizing I'm fidgeting so much with all my stuff here. I need to chill.
it's all good, all good. I got in a conversation with someone recently. The question was, what has more injuries, NHL or NFL? They're like, yo, NHL. I'm like, you're fucking tripping, bro. You're
yeah.
tripping. NHL, yeah, they get hurt and they probably tough it out a bunch, but there's 5 people on that ice at a time.
Although, well, so I have no experience with hockey, but I did play football. I quit before I played right up until high school,
Okay.
and I stopped when entering high school because of the level of injuries and
Yeah.
how just overall violent the sport is. Not that I'm against it, but I just wanted to
Yeah,
preserve my
Me
brain.
neither, too.
I wanted to preserve my brain.
Valid.
I was going to high school, and like I just kind of the way my thinking of it was at high school and beyond that skill level and just age and everything, you have to really want that as your part of your life path to like continue. past high school, I think, or into
Yeah.
high school.
You gotta be like,
And I was like, I liked the sport when I played, but I did not want it. Like, that was not going to be part of my life, like in my adult life. So I was like, I'm done. But the one thing that definitely freaks me out in comparison is that recent last year, that death from the blade slicing the
that's right,
guy's
that did happen.
throat.
was
Dude,
that last year? Oh yeah, last
Last
year, 'cause
year.
we're in January.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
he
was
died, dude. That
that
was
actually
like,
he
happened.
bled out and collapsed on the ice. Yes.
it looked, if I remember correctly, and don't take. I'm just a guy. Don't. This is not like what actually happened, but
Citation needed.
correctly, it looked.
He is not
kind
Mr.
of-
NHL.
It looked kind of intentional. The guy.
I've heard that argument.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Allegedly,
Because
yeah.
so-
It just, dude, I watched it a long time ago, but it just, his motion, again, if I remember correctly, what looked a little unnatural. It looked
Yeah.
kind of like intentional. You know what I
So
mean?
I-
It's kind
so-
of like that situation with the guy who just like tripped and dropped a weight on that one guy at the gym. You know the video?
Oh,
I'm talking
yeah.
about?
Fuck are you talking about?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, there was this
I
video.
think I've seen that.
It was a security video of this guy who you just see like carrying a weight or something, and he's just walking on a floor with nothing on it. And there's this dude like doing
No.
bench press or whatever, and he just at some point just like oops and just fucking falls on this guy and causes him to drop the weight on him and almost kills the dude. Got off.
What the hell?
Yeah, took it to court. Accident.
Hell no.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's-
So the argument
Pretty
that
sure.
I've heard,
I'm pretty sure. Allegedly.
I'm pretty sure. I'm like 90% sure that that's
Cover.
the case. Yeah.
cover ass. The argument that I heard from somebody who plays or played hockey was that it seemed intentional, or at the very least extremely negligent, because of the
Sure.
fact that, from what they described, two parts to it. And again, I don't play hockey, I have no experience. I'm just repeating what somebody else said. Number one, they teach you from a very early age about the danger of the blade, and you have to keep it on the ice at all times, from like super fundamental thing. That's like as fundamental as keeping your mouth guard in, your helmet on in football. Like
Sure.
it's like you can't play without your helmet on. You can't play hockey without your fucking skates on the ice because you're going to kill somebody. It's like super ingrained. And then the second thing was the motion that it took for him to swing his leg in that way doesn't correspond with any like normal movement.
Yeah, it looked unnatural if it
on
was
the
just him
ice.
skating.
Right.
Well, what was the situation? Was he like on the ground and the dude like kicked, or did he like
I don't know.
roundhouse
I'll pull up the video.
360 somersault
Yeah,
this
can we
guy?
watch this? I think it was like
Pull that shit up,
low-key,
editor.
like a fucking sweet chin music.
Yeah.
I'm there.
Do you know WWE? Shawn
Oh, yeah.
Michaels sweet chin music.
No.
How do I-
Oh no, not
The
that.
fucking he just kicks him in the face, like a high kick to the face.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of reminiscent of what happened here, because I'm pretty sure that leg comes up high. I could be wrong.
No, okay. If he high kicked the dude, then what the fuck?
I think if I
that's the
again,
that's like the hockey equivalent of like flashing the barrel of your gun at somebody.
yeah, literally.
Except he shot the guy.
Wait, I'm
Sounds
gonna
like.
go blow my nose in the bathroom because I feel like I'm sniffling on a podcast and I've never heard someone do that.
Or did you do that? We're gonna cut this part anyway. Hey, editing Devin.
Boy. Fuck you too.
Yeah, yeah. Look at you, fucking 4:35 in the morning.
How do you know?
With your fucking cat.
How do you know? I think this is the video here.
Dude, a good
All right,
cat
here
is
we
hard to
go.
come by. Oh, whoa! Hold
That
on.
happened quick. Hang on, I gotta see that again. Oh no, this is so gnarly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you gotta rewind it. I don't think we're gonna see a replay.
Oh my god, that pool of it. Oh my.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That leg.
dude. His leg is like
No, 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 look.
at head level.
It got kicked up though. It got kicked
You
up by
think?
that dude. Look, boom.
I don't.
Because he was trying
So
to
the
swing.
red-
He
the
was
guy
trying
in
to swing
red-
over. He was trying to swing behind that guy, but then the momentum of him trying to swing. I don't know if he.
Hit it again.
Look
hit it
at
again.
the-
Let's
oh
see.
my God.
Oh no, it's not even.
Because look, that dude's behind. He's over there, so he's not even registering that guy's coming.
that
there.
that looks
Tries to sweep around and then just like.
looks completely unnatural to me, bro. I don't see why in any fashion that
Uh.
leg should be coming up that high, no matter what. I don't think that white guy influences him in that way. It did a stick do it, maybe that we can't really see.
It seemed like whether it was intentional, it seemed like a very
White guy is in white jersey, by the way.
yeah.
they're probably all white. It's hockey.
This was in Europe, I think, actually. So I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't recall ethnicity of the players. I didn't really care.
It looks like he was trying to stop himself, and that just happened to do it.
Dude, I think you're being incredibly generous with this.
Somebody has to be.
I'm-
Dude. I don't know what the context is here, right? It's hockey. I know
Bro,
that.
someone
Okay,
got
now the
high-kicked
fact
in
that
the
he
neck.
went back and gave the umpire a high five afterwards.
okay.
That's a little sus. Hold on.
Wait, does he? Huh?
Was that the same guy? Oh no, it was a different guy.
Wait.
It was this.
I didn't
this
see
guy
any high fives.
The dude, like, yeah.
He's helping the trainer onto the
Okay.
ice who has sneakers on.
Okay, but it just looks funny. It looks like the dude's like, yeah, we got him. Look at
He
him.
just skates off too.
And then he goes and high fives him.
He's helping her.
I know, but it just yeah.
So
What a
gnarly.
fucking gnarly video.
Bro,
Yeah.
that is so
What a
depressing.
gnarly sport.
So yeah, that can definitely happen in hockey. There's a video that's pretty old, I think, of a goalie before they wore these special goalie neck guards who got cut in the neck. I don't know if he died,
Mm.
but the video, it's so graphic, dude. Oh my god, I don't even want to talk about it, bro. I'll tell you, I've already primed it. He's like going like this, bro, and you just see blood go.
Mm.
It's so gnarly, and now the goalies all wear like a neck guard for it. Yeah, because in hockey, dude, the attackers, they're like going at the net and they do their shot, they make it or they miss, and then they just run into the goalie.
Yeah,
That's just
Yeah,
part of the game.
they just
And it happens
plow
all
yeah.
the time, like all the time. It's
It's very similar in football. I mean, every position you have to be prepared to hit or be hit, no
Yeah,
matter what. Pretty much,
dude, football
you have to
is
just be
like
ready.
a lot of knees, dude. It's like 400-pound people.
That's something that,
That happened
don't
to me.
think about.
That exact
Really?
that happened to me.
I've heard about
Dude,
this.
I was like,
Yep.
I moved around a lot as a kid, but one of the leagues that I played on was here in PSL, and it was
By the way, sorry to interrupt. Watch the water right there on your laptop.
waterway.
Yeah, I think my drink is
Oh.
condensating a little bit. I
realize
actually
it.
have this as clean as
That'll
I
work.
have my nose on it.
All right.
God, so
Thank-
gross.
Yeah, whatever. So in the league I played for, I'm trying to remember the like age range that it was. Doesn't matter, but there's weight limits, right? And if you're above a certain weight, you have to have a red stripe on your helmet, and you can only play. Yeah, because they'll separate
That's very interesting.
linemen from the rest of the positions, pretty
Okay.
much.
So the
Um,
bigger
Makes
guys are
sense, though,
linemen.
for safety.
For safety,
Yeah.
when you're like kids, it makes sense.
Can the bigger guys be linebackers or no? It's just linebackers.
I don't remember. Maybe I don't really remember
It's
that. to be
very
honest.
interesting. It
It's
makes a
like-
lot of sense. I mean,
A lot of leagues will do certain weight
Huh.
things like
Don't
that.
they do stuff like that in NFL though? Like they'll position people based on their size and stature.
I don't think they have rules.
It's
as
not
to
like
what
a
they can do,
it's
but-
not like a hard and fast rule like that.
but it's something you would probably want to do.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, the bigger guys are
It's
generally
more-
linemen.
it's more so you happen to be built like that, so you're going to be better at this position anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rather than you have to because of your weight.
I see.
It's more like
Right.
it's more like you being built that way is beneficial to this position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess like as a kid you wouldn't know, but as an adult you've probably already figured it out by then.
Yeah.
That's what you're.
And then
built for.
when you're kids, I think it's kind of partially that, but also the safety part.
yeah.
Because like some kids, everybody grows at a different rate. So there's some kids that are gonna be kind of really scrawny, some kids are gonna be really big and whatever.
And some kids who like either don't know their own strength,
Yeah.
or overestimate their own.
That happened a lot.
Yeah.
But what happened to me was we had a kid on our team who was, I'm not making fun of him because I was also like obese and I lost a bunch of weight when I started playing. But he was huge. And he was like, I think he was the heaviest kid in the entire league.
Damn.
Of the weight class, of that weight class. He was 217 pounds. And I remember that specifically because his nickname, 213, sorry, because his nickname was Big,
At what age did you say the age?
I want to say like 11, 12.
Oh.
What?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
200 pounds and 12 years.
He was 213 because his nickname was Big Deuce 13.
Big Deuce 1-3.
Yeah.
That is
That's hard.
bro. And he's playing football.
Yeah.
Dear God.
And
And
no,
those
but,
parents wanted that kid gone.
well, the sad, not sad, but like the ironic part of it is he was like, it actually took him, he was like a really sweet and kind of like slightly sheltered kid.
Okay.
And so it actually took a long time into like our second season playing together before like the aggressive side of him
Yeah.
kind of
Mhm.
manifested.
Oh my god.
Like we had to kind of mold him and like
Interesting.
for real, like we had to kind of
You had
bring it
to
out.
break it down
the
the bear.
A little bit. We did. We didn't do nothing crazy to him. We just had to like show him how to channel like
Oh my god.
aggression
He's like your secret weapon.
and use it physically for the sport. Because before he was very like soft,
Yeah. Wow.
not soft as in like crying or anything. Like he was like tough,
Yeah, we know what you mean.
but like he wasn't like
he
strong.
wasn't trying to.
He didn't know how to throw his weight around. Probably.
Correct.
Yeah. I feel
And but one game, I don't know what the play is, but I'm involved in the dog pile that happened. Maybe I blocked somebody. Maybe I don't know what happened, but I was involved. And as I'm getting up, I'm on my left knee is on the ground and my right leg is out like this. It's like as I'm getting up, and he falls over right onto my leg.
Oh,
So my leg is at like this, and he falls on my side of my knee, and I felt like a sharp pain and a pop. I was not injured somehow, thank fucking Christ, but it hurt so bad for like a millisecond, like an instant, like a stab. Like I got stabbed really quick, bro. I was so like, maybe it's because like I kind of like collapsed in as he fell.
yeah. Just
like
anything that
knee.
happens to your knees, dude.
But
Yeah.
oh my god, it was so bad, and there was a lot of little micro injuries like that involving him.
Yeah. Oh, that's scary.
He was tight though. We would hang out. We would hang out outside of football sometimes.
Yeah, sports can be gnarly, dude. But the thing is, like, people don't really get injured in baseball, but baseball's boring as fuck.
Yeah.
I don't
And
like
honestly,
it.
and if I'm being real with y'all, barring the occasional somebody getting hurt, so is football. Like I think I'm willing to say I will die on this
Wait,
hill.
you think
Football is boring as fuck. Baseball is even worse. The only
Golf.
sport that golf. If you take golf seriously, get a fucking what's
Oh my God.
dude? Come on, son.
Get
Get over yourself.
alienating so much of your audience right now?
No, yeah,
It's okay. It's okay. It balances out because there's other cast members
sorry.
up here that are really into sports.
Okay.
Yeah, and our country club golfer audience. Anyway,
I'll give reasoning
Regardless
for
of the
my disdain for baseball.
basketball is the only sport that's worth a shit, and I'm not just saying that because I'm half black.
I like soccer. I think soccer is cool.
Soccer, actually, you know what? I take that back.
Ball.
If it weren't for it being so common for football players to like fall over and like
Yeah.
every
But
time like they get touched by somebody, maybe I would
Well-
take it a little bit more seriously. But basketball, that shit's poetry.
I agree. I'm sorry. I'm going
Like
to get back
almost
to you.
everything.
I don't want
Sure, go
to
ahead.
derail
You're
too
fine.
hard.
You're fine.
I agree with what you're saying, like on paper, but part of the reason, and I'm not trying to excuse it, I'm just explaining what's been told to me. Part of the reason it's become so common to do that is actually part of the strategy of like taking advantage of like refs and like yellow cards and fouls and all that stuff
Yeah.
to get up ahead in the game.
Yeah, no, I know. It's part.
It's
It's part of,
flopping on
It's in
purpose.
every
it's part of like the
sport.
meta
Yeah.
game
It's
of
meta.
soccer. No, and I get it.
But I
get it.
still hate it. It's still dumb.
It's like it's a little corny.
It's really in every sport,
So-
man. It's I think it's most prevalent in soccer. I think it would probably be next is basketball, honestly. And then, whatever happens
Yeah,
after
'cause
that.
it does happen all the time
Too.
too in basketball.
I think what I think is cool about soccer
not as often.
is it has an excellent balance more than other more than many of the other mainstream sports. Have a perfect balance of athleticism and like skill.
Yeah, I heard an argument
Does that,
that
does that make sense?
what's it called? Professional soccer players are in the best shape of any athlete.
Yeah.
And I think it makes a
Oh,
lot of
that's
sense.
absolutely.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
non-stop running. There is
Mhm.
no there's a halftime, but there's no like constant like pauses.
It's so
like,
long. Yeah, and
so many
there's
other
like a
sports.
couple substitutions.
Yeah.
Couple.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
There's no-
sure most people play the entire game, which is like, dude, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Crazy.
to praise the sports a little bit. Yeah. But on the baseball thing, I did a pretty cool job where one of my producers who does a lot of, sports broadcasts, like doing the broadcast and the truck and stuff, he got a gig doing the in-house for the spring training field for the Astros and the Nationals. If anyone's outside of Florida or Texas, or Florida and Arizona, actually, I think it is, all the baseball teams come here during the spring to do what's called spring training, which is like preseason. And so there is
We're
like,
known for the Met Stadium.
yeah, there's like a professional baseball field like every like 50 miles in Florida.
Yeah.
It's a practice field more or less, and a lot of them share teams. So the one I worked at is in West Palm Beach. It's called the Ballpark of the Palm Beaches. They have the Houston Astros and the Washington Nationals play at that stadium, and all the different teams travel and they play each other at these like mock stadiums, if you will. So yeah, the year I did this, I ran the audio for the in-house 30 days straight, all month, like 30
Wow.
games in a row. Like it was like every day. Every day. Yep.
Jeez.
It was super fun, really cool gig. And funny enough, this is the year that they implemented the pitch clock. So there used to be no clock. You could just sit there and like do your weird little baseball ritual before you throw the ball. Same thing with the batter. Like they don't even swing. They take a ball and then they like tighten their gloves and like grab their crotch and then like go back up. And then another ball and then they got to tighten their gloves and grab it. It's very ritualistic.
Yeah.
So they implemented a pitch clock this year. So it was like, I think
Get on with it.
Once
Get
the
on
pitcher-
with it.
yeah, literally. Once the pitcher gets the ball, I think there's a 15-second clock going. And funny enough, I would fuck him up sometimes because I would play the music a little bit too long, and then like the batter would think they had more time. And I think it's like at like 7 seconds, if the batter's not in the box, he takes a strike. And like once or twice, bro, I would play the music a little bit too long because I mean it's music on, music off, music on, music off for the entire game every day for 30 days. So I fucked it up a couple times.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I've noticed. I've only been to a couple of like bigger sporting events, but I've noticed everything is so like, it's so like those type of events are. It's every 2 seconds is like a new thing to draw your attention.
Yeah,
Always, whether it's the game itself going on or something on the loudspeaker,
right.
or a food vendor or some other weird random
Yeah, you're
entertainment
at a
that's going
show,
on.
in a way.
It's,
You're at
it's
the show.
always something every second.
Yeah.
Anyways,
So the pitch clock was going on. So these games were somewhere between like a half hour to 45 to maybe even an hour faster than the normal games.
okay.
And they were still just absolutely grueling long. And we did one game, which was a World Baseball Classic game, whatever. It was like the Israeli team versus whatever the fuck team. Okay. And that didn't have a pitch clock.
Palestinian team. It was Palestinian.
No, that's so funny.
Imagine.
Imagine, right? What if we could just settle our differences that way? No one would care. It'd be so boring. Yeah, that game, the long story short, it took forever, dude. I was going insane up there. Just like whatever. But yeah, my nickname is with my entire broadcast team or frequent coworkers is I'm DJ Foul Ball because every time there was a foul ball, I would play like a little bit of organ music. That was kind of like one of the things I had to do. So it was like every time there was a foul ball, no one had to do anything except for me. So the whole fucking little broadcast or the little booth we had up there, be like, "Hey, DJ Foul Ball," and be like, "Da da 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 da," whatever the fuck I was saying.
Is it just a little synth or keyboard or something?
So what I had is this. I had two computers. One of them has a software called Sports Sound Pro on it, which is it's just a triggering software. You know what I mean? You load in what's called buttons and you tie those to MP3s and that's it. And you get a bunch of different pages and you can have like 1,000, 2,000 buttons going. I'm pretty sure that
it sounds like just a glorified soundboard.
It's really what it is. Yeah,
it's the soundboard I use for open.
Yeah,
it's definitely more in depth than like your standard thing, but it's not by much. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's used everywhere, man. Like nice.
A meme soundboard.
Yeah, it's just buttons. You know what I mean? You have the different pages and whatever.
which means probably similar to like most like lighting software.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Buttons and different macros and whatever.
Yeah, I mean that's all you're doing, and it was all organized in a way. And I would set it up pre-game because we would get like a script, not how the game was going to go, but as far as what we were going to do in the inning breaks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'd set up one page with everything I would need, and I would basically just kind of hit like next, essentially. And then I had another computer with Spotify on it, so I could fuck around a little bit, but I couldn't play cuss words. So whenever that happened, I got in trouble. But it definitely happened a lot because like one time a team got up, it was like 21-0. Not kidding, it was 21-0,
which
was
is
like
a lot in baseball.
I think it was like
right?
the Astros like spanked the Cardinals.
Actually, I don't know.
It's so much in baseball.
Is it?
That
It's
sucks.
absurd.
Yeah,
Like it was an absurd.
Yeah,
game.
because one run is 1 point.
Yeah.
Right. So okay.
Yeah. So like a normal baseball game, I don't really know, but like I'm gonna ballpark it.
Yeah.
So like it's like, I don't know, somewhere but like above 6. Each team will score maybe like above 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe even more.
Okay.
It's kind of like that area. I could be way off. I don't know, but I'm probably
That sounds right from playing Wii Sports.
21-0 is fucking absurd. And when we hit 21, my producer was like, "Play that fucking Drake song," because that song was big. So I played it. I was like, 21. Can we do something? And then the song like goes into the verse. And it's like, "I'm fucking bitches," and I was like, "Oh fuck!" over the whole stadium, bro. Like,
then you gotta play record scratch sound effects.
yeah.
Stop the music.
There's just some like organ shit.
Yeah. Take me out to the ball.
We played that every fucking game. Unironically, we played that every fucking game.
Have you ever played or have you ever done sound for a stadium that actually had an organ player?
No,
No?
I haven't. That sounds
Yeah.
fun though.
Right? Yeah, because I've just seen like videos here and there of like apparently there's like a small handful of stadiums out there
Really?
that still
Yeah.
have
I'm sure.
like real people playing organs.
I bet you at least like half of the major league stadiums still have a real organ.
I hope.
Because like baseball teams make money, so like they have the money to do that kind of
Somehow.
stuff, and it's like to have an somehow and like authentic organ. Yeah, I bet you a lot of the stadiums have it. I don't really know, but I bet you they do. Yeah, so that was fun, but I think baseball's really boring. I don't know. I mean, you know, my opinion is not like really that significant. So sorry to baseball fans or whatever, but yeah,
I
I'm
think it's hard to. I think there's some sports that are probably. I'm kind of speculating based on just feeling, but I think some sports are easier to keep track of what's going on TV when they're showing you and
Mhm.
focusing in on things
Yeah,
rather than you have to see you can see the whole field because then you can lose. A baseball is this fucking little thing, so like
I actually feel like on the contrary, I feel like it's really easy to like get like in-depth shots with baseball because there's kind of just like one thing going on at a time. You know
well, no,
what I
I'm
mean?
saying if you're there live though, you can see everything at once. So it's
Right.
I imagine it'd be hard, it'd be easy to kind of lose track of like what's going on, like where you should maintain your focus.
Yeah, yes and no. It's just slow, dude.
Yeah.
I think that's really the thing. I think that's a big reason why lacrosse didn't really take off.
Mm.
I played a lot of lacrosse when I was younger, and I feel like that sport just. I mean, it's not. I don't know how much potential it really had to be like a big sport in America, but the thing is, you can't really see who has the ball.
Right,
You can't
because
really
it's
see-
in the thing.
it's in their net. It's
Yeah.
in their stick, and like I feel like that really just kills it for a lot of people. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
I can see that. That makes sense.
that's part of the thing. Yeah. So yeah, sports is a funny topic, man. I'm on sports fields all the time, and I really don't care about anything. But to work a hockey game coming up, I'm super stoked for that.
Congrats
Because
on
like,
that. That's awesome.
yeah, I'm super stoked. Like to get involved with the Panthers is like a crazy thing. So that's gonna be really really cool. And yeah, it's ironic. My entire family's super into sports, and I'm over here like, yeah, house music and fucking microphones.
Okay.
Like I'm the one
Yeah.
on like all these like sports fields, and
You said you were in band in high school, right?
I was
Were you-
in a garage band.
Oh,
But I also did
okay.
choir, to be fair. So like,
Gotcha.
kind of had, you know.
Yeah.
Well, you kind of brought you were inching into a topic that a little birdie told me that your family actually owns like a pretty big like logistics.
Yeah. So my family runs Armelini Express Lines. My grandpa started it. It's a fresh produce shipping company. Mainly flowers. Flowers can't really be put on a UPS truck. They have to be like refrigerated. Like they
Yeah,
get grown in South
yeah.
America. They're flown over refrigerated. They're on a loading dock that's refrigerated. They're on trucks that are refrigerated, probably to another loading dock that's refrigerated. So it's like this different kind of infrastructure you have to
Yeah.
have to ship this stuff. So yeah, my family's like really involved with that. I have a really big Italian family. Pretty much everyone's involved with the company, except for me. During COVID, I worked in the semi truck shop a little bit. I have nothing against it. I think it's boring. That's the only thing I really have against it. Because I worked there in summers. I changed oil on the semi trucks and stuff like that. And then COVID, I ran like parts for the shop. My dad is he was the president of it, but I think he's like since taken more of like a executive role and like given the title to someone else. And yeah, I'm just not too involved with it. I have no problem with the family, no problem with the business. I just worked there when I was a kid, and I was like, man, this kind of sucks. And I was really nervous about like what the working world was going to be like when I got older, because I knew, you have to work when you get older. Like I was like really nervous. I was like, damn, dude, am I going to be like super depressed and stuff? So like I really had a drive to go get a job that I thought was cool. You know what I mean?
Okay,
That's totally
I
understandable.
see your logic there. That's that
Mhm.
I was gonna ask you, what did you feel like? Did your family, if a big family business, the normal routine is like, you're expected to be a part of it also in some capacity. So like you being kind of choosing your own like completely different path, did your family feel a way about it? Did they not care? Did they support it?
They're
Did
they're
was that,
supportive, but they're still good parents, right? So it's like when I was like, I'm going to do audio at a store, they're like, dude, like we want you to do that, but like if it's not realistic, we're going to kick you in the ass about it. You know what I mean? So it's like Are they a little tough on me? Yes, but it's because they're being like good parents. They're not at all being like, this is stupid. You should work for the family business or whatever. Like they're realistic.
Yeah, no, that's
cool.
Yeah, so I think they're
Reasonable.
doing a really good job of it. Unfortunately, it's like pretty much any time I see them, it's like an hour in. They're like, all right, what kind of work you got going on? What's going on? What's happening?
Every family.
Oh, it
gets
blows
together. I feel
It
that.
blows.
Yep.
It's like, oh my god! And then they give me shit when I just try to like walk out. Like, like I'll just like be in a family thing. I'm just like, all right, guys, I'm gonna go. Like, this is getting a little boring and awkward, and I don't have answers for your questions. But something coming up exciting here that they're super stoked about is my producer who does a lot of work at FAU. FAU 2 years ago put down, or maybe a year ago, put down like $1 million something to build their own production truck
Ooh.
because they got hooked up with the American, which is an ESPN college division, whatever the fuck. Okay. So basically a lot more of their sports are going to get broadcasted, right? So they ended up just buying their own truck. So my producer who hires me for a lot of FAU stuff is going to be like the main producer on that truck. And luckily we're not going to do FAU football because FAU football sucks, bro. It's not the team, it's not the school or whatever.
Why does it suck?
It's the stadium. The stadium is not cabled. So usually on a big, nice stadium, I can plug a microphone into a wall and then get that signal out of a corresponding wall right next to the truck, right? It's well thought out. This stadium does not have a fucking
So you
into
have
that.
to cable
Everything is
everything?
what's called home run. So
Okay,
like
yeah.
all of the cables are like 1,500 feet long.
They
Now-
got the fucking fat ass snakes just running.
Yeah.
Dude,
into the,
yeah.
yeah. Oh,
I've
I-
seen that.
1,500
Nice.
feet long. It fucking
Dealt-
sucks.
Dealt with that at Civic Center.
It
ugh.
sucks so
yeah.
bad. And it's like every other sport
Yeah,
we do at
too.
FAU
Yeah.
Yep.
is like so reasonable. It's like a small show, and it's like, you know, the baseball stadium, or I'm sorry, the baseball stadium and the basketball stadium, the truck is like right outside. The cable runs are like 300 feet, whatever. I can deal with that all day. So it's so sick that we're going to be doing everything except for football. We're going to leave that for someone else.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'm going to be like lead audio on that, which is horrifying, but you know, this is like the best opportunity anyone could ever ask for to cut their teeth, right? So it,
Absolutely,
a
man.
thing about
Just-
A1,
Make sure you have a censored playlist this time.
a censored playlist. Yeah. ESPN sends me the music I play.
Okay.
Although
Okay.
my producer's like, Austin, you make music, right? Why don't we put that shit on the broadcast? I'm like, well, it might get DMCA'd because of like the way shit works. He's like, bro, play it. What the fuck? He's like, you're being a pussy. Like, play that shit. I don't care.
I would.
No, honestly, your music would
Honestly.
be great for like bumps between.
Yeah,
those
it might.
types of
It's
stuff.
gonna be kind of fun, man. I'll probably do it eventually once I'm comfortable on this new truck. But yeah, it's super sick because the thing about A1 and a reason I was super scared of it is like not only is it a complicated job, but usually you're on a different truck for every show.
Mm.
You gotta be fucking good at what you do to be able to do it in like different environments. Because it's like
Constantly
even if-
changing equipment and
yeah,
people.
even if all this shit worked perfectly, it's still complicated.
Mhm.
But this shit does not work perfectly. You will have equipment like there's just faders on some mixers that just don't work, like channels that just do not work.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And like there's sometimes like a router where it's like you don't really have it's a thing to just route the audio to make it easier. Sometimes when that shit goes bad, now
like
you have to,
digitally.
yeah, it's like a digital router as opposed to like doing it analog,
Mm.
like with a fucking patch bay and patch
Yeah.
cables out of a wall. And like I've seen so many of those routers just fucking fuck up on a show.
Oh.
And then it's like all of a sudden my A1 is in there live, repatching the whole fucking show,
Ugh.
getting all like the fucking shit to the announcer's ears and stuff. Like, oh my God, it's gnarly, dude. So it's like to be able to cut my teeth on like a new truck, be on the same truck a fucking bunch, kind of have no one really else like touch the truck either. So my
Yeah.
stuff kind of
You can kind of make it yours.
yeah, dude, I can get a really good basis of knowledge for A1, which is like unheard of. Like most people are just thrown to the wolves for better or worse. Honestly, probably for better, but
Yeah.
that does suck when
Mhm.
you're just like fucking up a show and you don't know what you're doing wrong, kind of thing. So that's really cool. I'm super excited about that. You brought up my family's business. Yeah, I guess I said everything I feel that's relevant to share about it. But yeah, I'm just really not that involved with it. Everyone is except for me. But
Growing up, how early like did you decide that wasn't really what you wanted?
oh, dude, it was like the first day I worked there. I swear to God.
How
'cause
old
it
were
was-
you?
How old was I? I don't know. Maybe like a little bit before freshman year of high school. So we're talking
Okay.
like probably 13 was the first time I did like a little day of work there. And I think I remember it because I was just doing office work with the girls in the safety department because they were just like super nice and a fun time. So I was like, you know, Dad, if I got to work there, can I just go work with the girls in safety? And he was like, sure. So I go hang out
Now,
with them.
Dad, can I go work with the chicks
Yeah.
inside? And
They were just nice ladies. They were just down to like joke around and whatever. But they ended up just being like, well, we have to put these letters in these envelopes. Like everyone was getting this little envelope with like a memo on it about whatever the fuck.
Mhm.
And like I'm sitting there and it was just like 300 pieces of paper and 300 envelopes. And I was just like folding paper and putting it in envelopes. And like I got to a point I was like, I don't think I can do it. Like, I'll never finish this. And the lady said to me, she's like, yeah, we just kind of have someone do it who's like, doesn't really have anything to do. And it kind of hit me. I'm like, okay, so like office jobs are like, you're stuck there anyway. So you might as well just do something with your hands. And that kind of hit me hard. I was like, is it really just like passing the time like that?
Yeah.
Because I was looking at
Yep.
it as like a task to finish. And I was like, I don't think I can finish this. This is so much. And it's like, you know, to someone in an office job, it's more of like, I'm just sitting here anyway, so I'll just fold this paper. This is fine. This
It's
is
pencil
easy.
pushing.
Yeah, it was
Yep.
like it was like a weird like thing to hit my mental. I was like, wow, like is this what working is like? Like it's really, you know, I'm not like being forced into like salt mines, bro.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
this is where
It
my
might-
head
bro,
was at.
when I was, like-
I'm still fortunate.
You
It's
were
funny.
you were exposed early on to rewardless labor.
Yeah. Oh my
Wow,
god.
Yeah.
thank you for putting it like that. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Like I've been working an office job for the past 4 years, but hearing about like what it is to actually work in an office versus what it's like the difference between being that guy with my Xbox 360 controller in Kansas City or in Kansas somewhere, you know, controlling a drone off in the Middle East versus being a soldier on the ground. It's like the same thing where it's like I you know, there's still a bunch of like whatever, you know, bullshit mental you got to deal with by being a part of that, but I'm not there. I don't have to deal with any of that. I clock out. I'm not there anymore. You know, and it's
Yeah.
it's a different thing where you don't have to like be in you don't have to go somewhere, you don't have to dress up, you know, being able to like do that busy work and then like, you know, keep your mouse busy so your computer doesn't idle and walk away when you're not given
Yeah.
stuff to do makes that kind of labor like so much more tolerable. But
Yeah.
but it was still
So you're working from home, is what you're saying?
I just got a different job like
Oh,
recently, but I was for like the past 4 years and I
I've-
could barely tolerate that. So I can only imagine.
I've spent maybe a year and 6 months worth of time working in call centers. Well, 2 call centers, but it was like 3 different jobs that I moved around to. Anyways, I worked in like an office type environment. I feel like working from home would depress the shit out of me. And like,
Yeah, it must be weird.
I feel like I would hate it. I like having to go somewhere for work, I guess. I don't know why, but like having a change of space
Mhm.
kind of helps me like go into a different mode.
Yeah.
When I'm just at home, it's like you're just stuck at home all day because you have no reason to go anywhere.
Yeah, that's
Well,
why it's like, thank God for like kava bars. I think we're all like kava bar Andes here.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's just such a cool place to like, you don't like them?
I'm up in yes, I do. I like kava bars a lot, but you know,
you just might not go. as
I've
much
seen
as
how
those
I don't know. I've
needs to
been going
mature a little
I've
bit.
been going to them long enough to see how a lot of the sausage is made. You know what I mean?
I feel like
Yeah,
a lot of the crowds need to mature a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's definitely
Yeah.
popular amongst young people. I guess the only point I'm trying to make is that like I'm very thankful that there's like social places that I can go that specifically
yeah.
like aren't alcohol bars, that kind of have like a younger crowd, and it's really just a social place. Like, yeah, I get crowded when I go there. I get kava and like that stuff's fun, but like I am going there 90% just to
That-
have social.
and I
That's
think
what I
that-
like about it too.
Yeah. And I think that we're going to see that a lot more moving forward because I've been wanting something like this forever. I've been going to kava bar since like 2017, but up until then, I always
Fucking
wondered
hipster.
why. Because I always heard tale of it's after school, let's go down to the local sock hop and get an egg cream, and it's like the
Yeah.
the diners where all
I feel
the,
like in
the
Friends,
homies would
or
go
not
and
Friends,
hang out.
not Friends. Shit. Damn. What's that?
Fucking
Classic show.
damn,
That
fucking
70s show.
No, not that one. That was also
Freaks and Geeks,
no.
maybe. I don't know. They hang out at a diner. Is that where you're going?
Not a diner, but it was like
I'm lost.
Happy Days.
yes, Happy Days.
Happy Days.
That's what I was
There we
thinking
go.
of. Yes,
Yep,
yes, yes, yes.
okay, I
Happy
knew it.
Days.
I knew it. But in any event, but yeah, and I was wondering like, why aren't there places like that now? And then, as I grew older, I'm like, oh, that's just bars and or clubs.
Yeah, it would've
but
been-
then I realized, oh, bars and or clubs, everyone's like drunk and annoying
That's the
and
problem,
loud
yeah.
and stupid.
You-
And so it's like, okay, I'll play video games instead.
Right.
Yeah,
that's it.
amen.
But
I
now
like
there's a
being able to-
happy medium.
Right. I
you
like
know?
being able to socialize with people without having to be drunk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Because I feel like if I'm at a bar, there's an expectation that you're there to drink and you have to drink.
and there's
And
also
then
that
if you want to be on the same kind of cognitive level as everybody else
right.
in the room, you have to be a little inebriated to like match their energy and to also just tolerate the annoying shit.
Yeah. And something that's nice about kava bars is that like if someone's been there for, I don't know, 5 hours, you can still have a conversation with that person. They're
Mhm.
completely coherent.
Yeah.
And it's like if you go to like a bar down the road or something and you try to do that, that person's probably smashed.
For 40
And
minutes.
you probably
Yeah.
don't even want to be like within
30
10 feet of
30 minutes and there's
Yeah. So
But I feel like we're going to see a lot more of these places popping up as industry moves more online, and you see a lot of storefront
to
closing
sag.
down.
Okay.
Because I feel like we're seeing that already with a lot of like storefronts closing down, malls and shit like
Yeah.
that. You know, going
Yeah.
empty and abandoned and stuff like that. What I think is going to end up filling in that vacuum of actual physical space are going to be basically lounges, clubs, third
Yeah.
spaces for people to exist and either
VR.
work at or but IRL. You know, that's what I'm saying is like
VR IRL
VR, but
going out.
God, I
VR,
hate that
IRL.
much.
yeah, and to get real dystopian about it. I think it's just augmented reality, but in any event, but yeah, just
I could see it be done in a cool way, but if that became the norm, that
because think about it, you don't need to go to Walmart anymore. You go to you order all your shit online. At a certain point, Walmart
yourself,
will
don't.
be you have the Walmart down the street, but it will be exclusively delivered to your house.
It's like a distribution.
You know,
center.
exactly. All Walmarts will become distribution centers. All storefronts will either become distribution
That's
centers
what-
or lounges.
I guarantee that's the way they want to go because it'll save them money too.
Yes, but I feel like that would be so good for the culture, like for people in general
Have more socializing
now
places.
to have to, because I feel like that would be a perfect adaptation. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
While things get more like technologically entrenched online, that kind of leaves more space in the real world for people to like do human things and like
That's, I like where your head's at with that, because I think most people look at like the internetification of everything as like very negative.
Internet
But-
of Things.
But now we
Yeah.
can separate the shit that like was kind of whack to do in real life and just put that on the
Right.
internet and then leave real life for the cool
I don't know.
stuff.
I'm gonna be old school. Like like in iRobot when Will Smith he refuses to use AI driven
Right.
cars. He wants to use
Yeah.
his motorcycle. Was it a bike? I think it was a bike.
Oh,
He wants to drive his own shit.
right.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be that guy that's still running my own chores.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm gonna go get my oil changed. I'm gonna go to the post office. I'm gonna go to
lot of the
Walmart.
people,
I'm gonna go to Aldi.
I think a lot of people alive today will definitely keep that mentality, but like future generations maybe not so much. But like where did you guys hang out when you were like young? Because I feel like when I was
Halo 3.
this like age of like 19-ish, or like some of these kids are starting to go to the kava bars. That's probably like the youngest age I see is like 19.
I'm still close to that age. I'm 24.
Oh, okay.
so that's
I'm
not-
27.
So that's not that far off.
Not that far off, yeah.
But
I just think back to those days. I guess I was in college at 19. Maybe I should go even younger, maybe like 16, 17, like middle of high school.
Yeah.
Where it's like you obviously want a place to hang out, but like anywhere you go, you're in the wrong. Like if you go to the mall just to hang
Yep.
out, people low-key don't want you there. If you
Yep.
just chill at a restaurant too long, like people don't want you there.
No
If you're
loitering.
just outside, you're like loitering. Or it's like
And that's very
rapidly.
rapidly becoming the sentiment of kava bars too.
Yeah.
For better and for better and for the most
There's
part.
you probably have a point there
I think
because
it's
a lot
better.
of young people come and hang out and they don't spend as much money, so the bars definitely want like an older crowd.
And now
because they
that
spend more money.
and now that that kratom is 21 and up, a lot of kava bars, especially newer
21
ones,
and up.
are using that as
yeah, to go 21 and up just because the kids loiter a lot.
I'm trying to
That's
think.
so unfortunate.
and
man. Like,
and like what I was alluding to before with the face I made towards kava bars, a lot of it has to just do with the drama and bullshit of the people there.
Because
a lot of which is
in high school.
Yeah, a lot of which is predicated on there being not only so much of a concentration of young people there, but like a concentration of young people who are also exposed to a wide swath of like other people that just don't see eye to eye on a lot of things or don't understand each other, and that leads to a lot of weird confrontations.
Cliques are forced to interact.
That forms a lot of like stratification and clicky stuff, and you're gonna get that no matter what.
yeah.
But it always gets weirder and like more unnecessarily stressful when you got like young people involved.
Yeah.
So especially when you're a business.
I'm trying to think and answer your question of like where did I hang out? Because there wasn't like in mid high school.
right.
So
So you either
like,
had someone's house, but
it
it
was-
was like
it
when
was-
it wasn't someone's house. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck was it?
it was
Like,
house. Like that was the main one, honestly. Like someone's house, my friends, whoever had the chillest mom is pretty much
right.
the
Yeah.
go to house everybody goes
Mhm.
to. Or gas station.
Dude, right?
Yeah.
It was
Outside the
just
gas
a fucking
station?
roll of the dice. We used to go to the mall every once in a while, but that fell off really quickly. It was like the mall and the movies
Mhm.
in middle school, and we used to just like go to movie theaters and just like socialize, and
I
we would
like-
just piss off everyone around us. And it's like, dude, like if kids did that to me today, I'd be like, fuck these kids. But it's like you think back to being that old, and it's like, dude, like
Sympathize.
you have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, you are not supposed to be there.
It's an awkward age range to cater to. It's hard to cater to, I imagine. Well, I don't have to imagine. I lived it, but we all lived it. It's hard to cater to that age range because they're not old enough for like the fun stuff that like you want to do in your 20s,
Right.
drinking or whatever, and then smoking.
They're
Whatever.
they're
You
barely
can't-
old enough to be out
in the
on
first
their
place.
own.
Right.
Yeah.
Barely
You know
old
what I
enough
mean?
to be out in the first place. So like,
And it's like all they want to do is socialize.
Yeah.
That's it, dude. You just want social interaction. You want to be
After
around
school-
people. You want to fuck around or whatever the hell. Like,
after school was a solid thing for me because my school, like when school was out, my school had a lot of after school stuff going on, and the school was still technically like the doors were open, and so a lot of people either had something after school to do, like a sport or a club
Yeah.
or whatever, or maybe they just like me sometimes had nothing better to do and didn't want to go straight home. So I would just linger around sometimes. I'd talk to people and hang out
Nice.
for like an hour or two.
yeah, thank God for extracurriculars, man, because it's like, it's not even like keeping the kids off the street. It's like, they're still gonna be on the street and whatever, but it's like, there's just
Giving up
so
something.
goddamn much time to fill in those years that it's
Yeah.
like, taking up a sport, taking up a music hobby or whatever it may be is just like one of the best things you can do for yourself
Absolutely.
as a young
Yeah.
kid. Not that we probably have any young kids listening to this, but there's some advice. I don't know.
I mean, for me, when it came to like, I mean, obviously as a kid, in high school or middle school, whatever, it was the same, just going to friend's house, who had the coolest, the best internet connection, basically.
Yeah.
And we would all bring our Xbox, our
Land
Xbox 360.
parties. Oh, that's so beautiful.
And it was pretty much every weekend we would all powwow, like me and my 4 friends would all powwow. My friend Mike's place, shout out Mike, and we would all go in his room, set up our shit, and just play fucking Halo, Call of Duty, whatever, until the wee hours of the morning, stuffing ourselves with pockets and
that's
Mountain Dew.
what, me and my friend Kyle did. Shout out to Kyle. He showed me Assassin's Creed when we were at this old video game store called Play and Trade down by the mall.
Hell
You guys
yeah,
remember
Play and Trade,
Bro,
it
what
was
a gem.
so based.
My God, so
Oh,
cool. I don't think it's there anymore. It's really sad.
Well, it sort of functioned as like sort of that third space lounge.
Like you could like
people to
hang
go
out,
to,
yeah. I
but
never
it didn't
actually like
advertise it
chilled
as
in their
that.
like lounge spot and like played games like you could. But I always thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
Their selection, just if anyone doesn't know, it was just kind of like a retro game store, and they had like a shitload of stuff on the walls. GameStop kind of keeps it current. Play and Trade was like, nah, fuck it, we're gonna have everything
Yeah.
down to like Game Boy like 1 games. Like we have like a selection of them, right?
I've been turned on more lately to comic and game shops too, because they're a good third place where you're not like, they're still a business. So of course they are going to find ways to like incentivize you to pay for stuff, but
Yeah.
it's very loungy in the sense that people hang out. There'll be groups of people that are going to be there all day,
Mhm.
and they're just there to play with each other. And that's it. It's just their
Yeah.
meeting spot. And a lot of them seem to be integrating more like gaming stuff too.
Yeah, that's cool. And I feel like every time there's anyone behind the counter at those places, like 99% of the time, they're just down to nerd out with you on
Yeah.
fucking anything.
love
And you always have a good conversation.
Yeah.
So what me and Kyle did, he showed me Assassin's Creed. He showed me Assassin's Creed Revelation. He's like, this game's kind of cool. You're like a fucking assassin and you're part of like a brotherhood. And I was like, all right, let's try it. So we played it a little bit. And I was like, huh, this is like really cool. And we both got into it. So it's like every time we got a chance, we would like bring not only the PlayStation, but a fucking TV over to each ot's house.
Yeah.
Like walk in the
Yep.
front door of the
Exactly.
Yeah.
like
Yep.
we'd set up like Assassin's Creed like right next to each other. We would just play our own single player thing like right next to each other. And I've since become so obsessed with that series.
The big, I think this was kind of, for me, this is pre-high school, but like middle school era for me, none of my friends lived super duper close to where it was convenient to hang out all the time. So a lot of our hangouts were on weekdays after school, where like I'm just going to go home with my buddy to his place after straight from school instead of going home and hanging out, or on the weekends because you have to go out of your way and stuff.
Right.
So like a big thing for us was we didn't always do the extra TV thing because that's couldn't really get away with. We didn't have a place to put it,
Right.
but we would like bring your Xbox and a controller in your backpack, or something. Yeah.
Yeah, like the big ass
Yeah.
bulky.
Yeah.
Because they didn't make like an Xbox Slim, so you were fucked.
Yeah.
Bro. You had like a whole 360 in your backpack.
Mhm.
That's crazy. I still, you guys love this. I still have my PS2 Slim in working condition, and the fucking F-150 I have, dude. The thing's 170,000 miles, maybe may run for a while, maybe going, but I'm gonna cry when I lose it because it has stock a fucking way to play PlayStation in it. So it has, get this, it has a wall outlet in the back of the center console, just as like a power outlet.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So you can just plug whatever into it like a normal wall, and then it has a touchscreen. And in the center console are the 3 AV inputs.
No
shit.
shit.
The red, yellow, and white. They're just in there. It's all stock. It only works when it's in park. But yeah, so my PS2 Slim is like up against the wall in the center console, taking up like no fucking space. The thing that takes up space is the fucking power brick. And that's not that much, right? And then I have like my old game fucking thing. And every once in a while, when I'm on a job in Miami or wherever the fuck, and I just have time to kill, I'll just go in my truck and play some fucking Need for Speed. It's
Nice.
fucking wild.
That's so rad.
I know. And it's like my old PS2. It still works. It's still good. Like these days, I'm using emulators if I want to play anything like that. But yeah, every once in a while, I did a job in Miami. There was an artist named Virgil Abloh who sadly passed away. And right before he passed away, he was doing or right after he passed away, he was scheduled to be present at a art exhibit during Art Basel in Miami. There was a Maybach, an off-road Maybach with the car. It was like an off-road concept car that he designed, and there was a showing for it. Well, he died, so they extended it a day. So they needed an audio guy to be there for day 2. So they brought me down for day 1 to train, and then I was there for day 2 as well.
Oh, so you did audio for that?
I didn't have to do shit, bro.
Really?
It was a gig and a half. Let me tell you. They had speakers already set up. They had like a mixer and everything. All I was doing was like playing music. So I show up and the guy goes, "Look, this is how you turn it on. We're playing it off this iPad. This will be here. Everything's just like this." He's like, "Look, here's a microphone. If they ask for a microphone, here it is. I almost guarantee you they won't ask for a microphone." He's like, "That's it, bro." And I was like, You're sure that's it? He's like, "Dude, that's it. This will be the easiest gig for you ever." And that's my training day. It took me 5 minutes.
Nice.
And then I'm there for 10 hours. Okay, I was getting,
Bro.
so then I just went and played Need for Speed for like that entire day. And then I went and slept at my uncle's house who lives in Miami. And then I went back the next day, turned everything on, and I went to the head of the whole thing. And I'm like, "Hey, like, I'm your audio guy today. I have a microphone. Are you going to want to do any announcements?" She goes, "Fuck no." She's like, "I do not want to talk at this. Like, don't even bother with it." I was like, "Okay, well, I'm just going to have music playing today." And that's about it. She's like, "Perfect. Like, literally don't worry about a thing." So I went back in my car and fucking started playing more Need for Speed.
Hell yeah.
10 hours. And then I left there and my car broke down on the highway.
Oh,
It was fucking,
no.
it sucks so bad. I won't get into it, but my transmission went on the highway in Miami in like stop and go traffic. It was a nightmare.
Never good.
Speaking of childhood hangout spots, did you guys also experience the infamous like electrical box place like everybody would meet up at?
Yes.
Or
Not really.
or the special tree? Like there was always some like little landmark.
Yeah,
in
spot like IRL people would just kind of like squat up at.
Yeah.
Wait, I definitely had that when I was like super, super young. I lived off this street. I lived off this street that was designed in a way where it was like 2 roads that are just neighborhood roads and they're dead ends. And there's 2 of them, and then they kind of merge together, and then it ends down here. And there was just a bunch of kids who lived on the street. I was like the youngest one. I was like super, super young at this time. I'm like 5, 6 years old or something like that, like super young. But when they merged, it came to like this triangle because there was like a road between there. So it literally made a little triangle patch of grass and trees. And it was like we would always meet up at the triangle. That was the thing, right? And like so, I never did the electrical box thing. But I kind of got a little bit of a
Me.
of that.
I moved around quite a few times growing up. So like different neighborhoods I was in had different points of interest like that. And the one that I grew up on before moving around for the first time in PSL, like I grew up here and moved around, but it was similar to what you're describing, but instead of coming to a point, it was just a normal street and it turns and it goes in that street. It's just a turn, like a regular street that just turns.
Sure.
It's 2 streets. They're different names.
Okay.
So on the bend, it just turns into a different name.
Okay.
But it's 1 street that just turns and reconnects back to the main road. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where I currently live.
Yeah.
And my friend's house, he had the chillest parents and a dope garage that was like screened in, and he had like his dad like built like a bar table, and like it was just a cool hangout spot. His house was right on the corner
There you go.
in the middle of where those 2 roads meet. So all of our friends in that area pretty much all just went there. And he had the type of parents that like you don't have to have any foreknowledge of like coming over, making plans. You just show up and be like, "Hi, Mrs. Whatever," and just walk in, past them.
Nice.
Like, you don't even have to talk to them.
Yep.
What
Like, "Hi, Mrs. Whatever," and then you just keep walking.
The best.
those
I'm
people
here-
are
I'm
just
here to
such
see
a
Brandon.
blessing to the whole
Mhm.
neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like to have that,
Absolutely.
just somewhere to go, right?
Yep.
Like,
And then he also hosted all of the sleepovers and stuff, and we'd
Nice.
have the garage to ourselves, so we could be as loud as we want, and like it was so chill.
hell yeah.
That's when I discovered Omegle back in those days. too.
Oh man.
My
I never
friend
fucked around with that too
he-
much, but some of the clips from that, people fucking around with that. are
early on was
amazing.
crazy.
You guys seen the Kermit thing? I'm sure everyone's seen it.
Kermit thing.
Yeah, there's a
No.
guy who just like has
Oh,
a-
with the
yeah, the cucumber. You
yeah.
haven't seen this? Are
No.
you kidding? Dude, so it's just a guy who has Kermit on on his hand
Yeah.
and he's doing the Kermit thing. He's like, "Hi, how are you?" I can't do the voice. But like, yeah, so he talks to people for a second. And then if it's like a girl, he's like, he'll just somehow do like a little sexual innuendo, be like, "Oh, you want to see a I can't do it, man." But one way or another, he just pulls up a cucumber and it looks like his dick.
Just the,
And it's the same gag every
Oh
fucking
my
time.
God.
And it does not get old, bro.
Yeah.
It's
I
funny
haven't
every
seen-
single time.
So I haven't seen that, but what I have seen is a trend of. Actually, I see a lot of music artists on there showing off.
Yeah, like the
skills.
do. You guys ever seen the do?
I don't know. Actually, probably. I don't know
Yeah.
like by names,
Sure.
but if I saw him, I'd probably
He's
recognize.
just an incredible
Um,
musician.
I've also seen, and they'll do like just freestyle. They'll be like,
Mhm.
"What do you want to hear?"
Yep, exactly. That's what the dude does, man.
I've seen a
you-
bunch of different
you've
people do that kind of thing.
Probably
Probably have.
seen that guy, yeah.
And then I've also seen a lot of. There's one specific guy actually. I don't know his name or anything, but he'll come up and they'll just be acting really normal, and then do a fake transition
yeah.
where you think
I've
it
seen-
where
yeah.
you think it cuts to a different camera.
Oh yeah.
But then he's
he's always like super mean to him and like really like offensive or something, or like says I'm gonna kill you or something, and then it'll go to another person.
Yeah, yeah.
He's still there. Like,
yeah, and
It
it'll
like
pop out.
shows up in the background.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so gnarly.
That's so funny.
Those are pretty funny.
And people are always dumbfounded by it. Like, what
Well,
the fuck?
Oh, hold on. Didn't Omegle just die recently?
I think it did.
It just
yeah.
went down like
Yeah.
last year.
Because of
Oh, right.
Pedophile.
child
stuff,
exploitations.
It's honestly, I'm surprised it took this long.
Yeah.
For them to
Yeah,
figure that out.
Dude,
I agree with
That's
you.
been a thing for as long as I've known about the
Yeah,
internet.
it's sad to
yeah.
see it go, but it's a valid reason, man. Like
yeah, because how are you going to control that?
you can't. What's the
Yeah.
point? Like you're not supposed to be able to control anything on there.
Right. That's from the Wild West days of the internet.
Yeah.
Still.
It's like they could even put like, put your age in when you make your account. And it's like
But-
kids are gonna lie about it because
Yeah.
that's just what you do when you're young. You
Still
have
verification.
you're like, oh, I need to be 18. Okay, I'm fucking 50. Fuck it. I don't care.
Mm.
I'm 99999.
Yeah. And the website just goes, yep.
Valid.
That's about right.
Yeah, valid. Yeah. that checks out.
Yeah. You're not a bot or
That is-
1,000 years old.
That is a
This guy
number.
must be Abraham Lincoln's brother. Yeah,
That
happy
is-
to have you here, bro.
There is a number greater than 18. You're good.
Yeah. I was gonna say there's some horror stories about Omegle. One time I was on there and I wouldn't say this scarred me, but it's something that was ingrained for sure. And it was one of the first time I ever even this broke my brain for a second. I was just on Omegle. I was just bored. I was on somebody else's computer, like staying at like my mom's friend's house or something, and they just let me use the computer just because I had nothing else to do. And I decided to go on Omegle, and the first camera or person that I link up with is a blonde woman getting her pussy ate by a dog. Yes.
What?
And I immediately closed it because what the fuck? I closed the page. I X'd out because I was like, number one,
Immediate regret.
because number one, it freaked me out. And number two, I was like, I don't want to somehow get in trouble.
Right.
Because I was not looking for that. That just came out.
That's
I swear to God.
dude.
And I was like, yeah, that's crazy.
Dude, don't do that. Okay. But
Yeah.
low key, you hit the lottery because usually when you see some fucking weird sexual shit, you're just seeing some old guy's dick or
Just
something.
someone jacking off.
It's like
Yeah.
you get naked lady on there. Unfortunately,
It was
she's
not-
her pussy eaten by a dog, so that sucks.
She
'Cause,
was she was literally in. So it was like a sideways view, and she was on her hands and knees, in doggy position, and the dog was eating her from behind.
God, you're scarring me.
I'm describing it
Just to make
vividly.
Yeah.
Just so you know, you
allowed
feel
to
my pain.
describe it. I wish you didn't. Oh my god, that's gnarly, dude.
That was so crazy. Up to that point, I had never seen something quite that radical on Omegle. It was always me and my guy friends, and we link up with other random girls or guy groups that are also doing the same thing, just like randomly getting matched up and talking to each other. And then you
Yeah.
get the occasional guy with his dick out, but it was like tolerable. You know.
You just click off it, right?
See, I never used Omegle. I've obviously watched a lot of videos and stuff my whole life for as long as it's been around, but I did for a little bit use chat roulette.
We use that too. Yep.
Yeah, chat roulette was a lot of fun because it was pretty much
It's
the
kinda
same.
the same.
It was
It's
exactly the
the same
same, just
thing,
without video, pretty much.
Oh yeah. It was just text.
Yeah, it was just text.
forgot that actually.
Oh, that sounds even creepier.
Yeah,
low-key.
well,
Just text.
that's the thing is like it kind of was because it was like you could just say whatever and what it's kind of like trying to have a conversation with an AI, except the AI is actually like another person, but it's about as like it leads about as far as you would expect or as nowhere as you would expect.
Yeah.
Because either it fizzles out immediately or there's some kind of chemistry and you end up talking with whomever for like
ASL?
hours.
Hit you with the ASO.
Well, yeah, more often than yeah, almost all the
What does
time.
that mean?
ASO, age, sex, location.
Age, sex, okay, right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's some internet
Oh,
1.0
geez.
lingo right there.
Yeah, for real, right?
But no, that was very common.
I also got in trouble, or not. I didn't get in trouble, but my class got yelled at. We didn't get like a group punishment. We got scolded by our teacher. I went to like this private Christian school for a period, and one like new girl like introduced all of us, or a bunch of us, not all of the whole class, but a big group of us to this like it was a browser based like cam chatting site. It wasn't like sexual. It was just like literally you join a room and like 10 people can fit in this room and you can just chat. But
sounds chaotic.
Yeah.
yeah, it was a little bit. But because you can also, if you paid money, you can make it private. But if it was free, people can enter and exit your chat, just anybody. It was just open. And that was its own issue. But besides that, well, because you would see like creepy dudes preying on like female friends in the group all the time. It was weird. But what became a problem, the reason we got scolded was not having anything to do with that. It was I don't know what the URL was, but I just remember that it was literally one letter off from being like a hardcore porn site.
Oh no.
And it was a completely different website, unassociated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was one letter off. It was like almost the exact same name. And so for some reason, like the teacher like got really pissed at all of us because
That used to be a thing when we were younger. Like if you typed in YouTube like one letter off, it was just like porn and like
yeah,
computer
YouTube.
viruses and shit
Mhm.
like that.
Yep. YouTube.
YouTube.
That was the one
Yeah.
for a while.
Oh, bro. Internet.
Mhm.
Early internet.
Good stuff.
Hopefully it's hopefully I'm hoping that somebody like just cuts the wire and the internet just dies and we can like wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be great?
I don't think so.
The internet
man.
just collapses and we just
really like
we just return to monkey.
I really like modern YouTube. I'm kind of
I like internet.
YouTube
I
anti.
think
I've liked YouTube for a while. I'm kind of sick of it. I could do without the internet.
I think what would be not like, I'm not making an argument whether this would be good or bad, but I would be fascinated to see what would happen because like the internet is worldwide and all interconnected, like across the oceans and shit now.
Have you ever seen how they
But-
do that?
Yeah, the big cables that cross the ocean.
Fiber cable.
I was literally,
Triple.
the point I was going to make was, what if those connections were severed and instead of one big internet, we had multiple different internets?
Well, that's what happened in Cyberpunk.
Really?
Yeah, because the black wall is effectively this like giga firewall that's containing the functional internet from the rest of what was the entirety of the internet, which was completely like overridden with viruses and malware by this like one really like gnarly hacker. I forget the name.
With like a little biodome,
yes,
internet
effectively.
biodome.
Yep.
Is Cyberpunk the game, like the lore?
Yeah, yeah. Well, in the lore
tabletop
and
game,
yeah.
like, or not tabletop. It's like
Bullshit. It wasn't a
whatever you
tabletop
call it.
game, was it?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
That's
Was
yeah.
that
It
what it was
started.
first?
It started as a tabletop game and
Oh,
then
no
was
way.
adapted into a video.
That's so cool.
Right?
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard good things about the game. I never played it.
They're both incredible. I played.
Really?
Both. Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Yeah, I feel like there was so much hype about it, and then the launch was shaky that I just like wrote it off.
Yeah, me too.
now. Well, they kind of just soft relaunched it with the
Right.
2.0 update. They completely like overhauled like most of the mechanics in the game.
Which is like cool
Huge.
that they did that, but fuck companies that release unfinished games and charge full price for them. God damn it.
Well, what was really shitty about it for me is I didn't know they were going to do that, and I had just started playing Cyberpunk for the first time right before that happened, and I was 2 missions away from beating the game before downloading the 2.0 update,
Does it reset
and
everything?
it completely bricked my
Oh,
entire
no.
character build.
Oh, no.
And so I had to, and so like I couldn't finish. I didn't end up finishing the game.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, the cool, like I was able to readapt it into something else that was kind of cool and like playable, but I didn't. It was wrong. You know, I didn't feel like I wasn't playing the same character anymore. It was kind of whack, but they did definitely fix and make like the game better objectively. Like I'm not, but it was just from my experience personally, that was kind of whack. But
Sorry, just back to the separate internet concept thing.
Mhm.
I'm fascinated by the concept of like when we eventually are like starting to colonize like another planet and stuff, the just straight up distance between would necessitate some form of either very advanced, complicated relay situation, or there's just straight up going to be separate internets.
well, I mean that's
That'll
and I-
definitely be connected 1,000,000%. There's no way
Yeah.
they're not connected. Just like
I think it'd be
satellites and radio
difficult, though.
frequencies
To the
or something-
point- to
something
the-
along those lines.
It'll be
the
connected,
technology
but
necessary.
It won't be as instantaneous
No,
as we're
absolutely.
used to.
Of course
That's-
not.
But I
But that
feel like-
would, and I think that would be what causes that divide, though.
I feel like the
Because
technology,
we're convenient to interact with people who are closer to you, and it'll be instant communication.
the technology necessary to communicate, however instantly across distances necessary to colonize other planets, will necessarily have to exist before we even consider
100%.
colonizing
I
other
don't know if
planets.
that's necessarily true.
Realistically, you know, obviously for like pioneer missions where we're just sending fucking frozen people out to colonize rocks or whatever, you know, that's a different thing, you know. But then at a certain point, once if that's going to amount to anything that we're going to benefit from, by the time that we expect them to be able to, you know, get there, whatever, to a point where they can communicate with us, we need to have that technology, or we need to have that technology and send it with them so they can set it up in the first place.
We technically
And
can
not.
communicate extreme distances. It just takes a lot of time,
You're right.
and they
That's
they
what I'm saying,
do it.
like-
They do that,
Who's they?
like NASA and shit. I'm saying, like
Oh.
when they go to the moon or send probes out, they can still communicate with them.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it'll take like
There's just
hours
I
to
wonder
reach
if
it.
we'll be able
Yeah.
to send data through light at that point if we're really that far away. So the way that the undersea internet cables work, you guys might know this, viewers might not. It's through what's called fiber optic.
Mm-hmm.
So that's light traveling through a cable. Okay. And it's mecha fast, right? It's the speed of light, and it's like a little bit slower because it goes through a repeater, which like kind of boosts the signal, whatever. And it's so fast that like sometimes a point of data that's coming to you from England might like kind of get clogged up coming through like its like fastest route. So what it'll do is it'll take a detour to fucking South America and then come to you.
Yeah.
And this is like that's where you get a delay of like a second as opposed to getting it in like half a second.
Mhm.
So it's like it's crazy wild. You know,
The internet, everything you do has to pass through like 17 different like
a
relay
series of
point.
tubes.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. And yeah, it's just fiber is like the best thing that we have so far. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe we'll get something better eventually, but just like sending data through light is such a wild thing. We actually use it on broadcast a lot, fiber cables. It's really common.
Mm.
Yeah.
It has its own set of issues.
There's
But
there's
generally-
like distance problems with it, right?
Yes and no. Generally for broadcast, not really. Fiber cables actually tend to be really long because
Okay.
it's just like good to send really far. When you're going over oceans, yes, there's distance problems, and then you get a repeater and whatever. But we don't really use fiber repeaters in broadcast. We're usually good to go with like, and usually fiber cables again are like really really long.
Mm.
And they
just 'cause
have to
they're-
be because you can't bend them too much, or else they'll not be functional. Or they'll break.
yeah,
a lot
you
of them
can't-
are very fragile.
They
too.
are more fragile than most cables. I think they're a little bit more durable than people give them credit for because we really baby these cables because
Well, I mean,
of-
working in audio, the shit that we put audio cables through, an optic cable would not.
No,
that's-
exactly. Like
yeah.
you don't want to run it over with something. That's a
Mhm.
huge no. You don't want to fucking bend it. You don't want to bend a cable in the first place. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's essentially glass in there, but it's like a bendy kind of glass, and I don't know. It's kind of beyond me. But it's a really incredible thing. But yeah,
I think that's a solid way to describe it. It's bendy glass.
yeah.
fiberglass.
Pretty much, it's fiberglass.
Fiber is incredible, bro. Fiber snake carrying like 24 pairs of individual fiber is like, it's small. It's very small. And we can run a whole fucking broadcast from the field and everything, announcers, all the audio, all the cameras, all that shit through a cable that's this big. And it's fucking, it's mind blowing. It's like when I finally like went home, I'm like, what the fuck is this fiber shit that we keep using? Because like I was using it, but I didn't really know what the deal is with it. And then I like watched a couple YouTube videos and it explained to me like the underwater network of fiber. And
I think-
dude, it's mind blowing.
When I'm thinking about what would be necessary to make that work in space, I feel like they would choose the cheaper option of just going without it and just dealing with compensating for the distance.
It would be really
Because-
complicated
Because like
of-
I'm
yeah.
trying to work it out in my head, right? Follow me here for a sec. I could be wrong because like there could be shit I don't know about that would work better. But the way I'm thinking about it is you can't just if you're doing like light and you're doing like Morse or some kind of code system that's sending the data, right? Binary, something. You can't do it from the planet's surface because then atmosphere and things will get in the way and probably cause too much of a problem. So then you'd have to have satellites, and then you would need to communicate radio to the satellite, and then that will do it, the light thing, and then you're.
But that's
Then you have-
instantaneous enough
then-
at that point.
But then you have to worry about distance again, which is speed of light. But then there could be other things in the way, or the light like dispersing, and then
There
like,
is a ridiculous amount of factors.
Yeah.
Even with gravity affects light.
yeah,
especially in
that
space,
too,
right?
lensing.
So
like
it would
how-
be super mecha complicated, but if we could pull it off,
Yeah.
that's like the fastest data transfer we have. It's the speed.
I
of
think
light, right?
I just feel like in the colonization aspect of it, getting people to the location will be prioritized over the communication technology.
yeah,
part.
I mean, we'll definitely have some kind of communication set up, but I mean,
like, I
this-
feel like the
this is
communication
kind of
part will
thing-
come later.
Yeah, this is the kind of thing that's just like it's so in the future that we probably can't even fathom how they pull it off.
Bro, I love. You ever read or seen the movie Ender's Game?
No, heard of
Bro,
the name, but I
you-
don't know
have
anything
you?
about it.
I've heard of it, but I'm not
You-
familiar with that.
So Ender's Game is interesting, and it's sci-fi, and people have colonized all kinds of planets and whatever. But one of the like, and they have faster than light travel, but there's still. It's not like Star Warsy. They still have to worry about relativity. So when you go off on some journey somewhere and come back, you could be the same age, but your sister is like 60 years older.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
we all
yeah.
need Interstellar.
Yeah.
yeah,
But,
yeah.
So I
but
think you're
in
thinking
the
of the
Ender's Game universe, that is common.
right.
Or you just don't do those travels if you don't want to deal with that. You just don't.
Yeah,
So what they do to communicate across those distances, and I don't recall if it works while in transit, but I know that across distances they're able to communicate instantaneously with like quantum physics. Like they have
Mm.
quantum entanglement. They have some way of using quantum entanglement
Yeah.
in these like earpieces, basically, where you can literally talk instantaneously to somebody on the other side of the fucking solar system or galaxy or whatever, because they have two atoms that are, or I mean,
entangled, or
uh,
electrons,
whatever,
Mhm.
that are tangled together,
It's
which
so
is
gnarly.
so cool.
It's
Such a
like
cool concept.
it's plausible, right? It
Probably.
like, kind of makes sense.
Theoretically, yeah.
Yeah, theoretically, right?
It'll
Yeah.
probably be a big ass quantum computer that does it rather than just like an earpiece, but
That stuff's so wacky.
it's dope.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hard pivot real quick.
Let's do it.
What got you into producing your own music?
Okay, so I played in that band in high school. We were like a 3-piece rock band for a long time. We played a lot of Blink-182 because I was the only guitarist, so we could
Okay.
we only had so much music we could do,
Mm.
right? Because it's like if you try to play like Sugar We're Going Down, that's a 2-guitar song, and like it just doesn't sound right. So we played a lot of Blink-182, a little
Just
bit of
get
Green
good.
Day. Yeah,
I'm
right.
sure.
Yeah, just play the lead and the. I mean that song is actually more or less pretty plausible to play the lead and the rhythm. Maybe it'd be kind of weird. You can probably pull it off though. Anyway, yeah. So played a lot of Blink. We were more or less a Blink cover band, and then my friend Micah, who I'm still really good friends with, I'm actually roommates with him now, moved from Alabama senior year of high school, and like he had gauges and dyed hair. So my fucking bassist Kyle just goes up to him. He's like, "Hey man, you look cool. What's your name?" He's like, "I'm Micah."
You
like,
cool.
Yeah, literally, that's unironically like
That's-
pretty much how it
That's
happened.
bro flirting.
And he was like, "Oh, you play
Yeah.
guitar or something?" He's like, "Yeah, I play guitar." He's like, "Oh, you want to come like hang with our band?" He's like, "Okay." So he comes over. Mike is
Nice.
mad shy, bro.
How
He doesn't
lessons are
say
made.
anything,
yeah.
and he's like really good at guitar. And then like we have our first practice. I'm like, "Yeah, this kid seems cool. Like maybe we can have a second guitarist." And then he's like, "Oh no, play that guitar part like da 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 da," and he sings it, and he's like a fucking god singer. Like immediately we're like, "Yo, fuck you, fuck you!" Like you did not say you could sing. Like dude, that was really good. He's like, "Yeah, I mean I can sing a little bit." And we're like, "Oh, game fucking on." So then
Hell
we have
yeah.
like a second guitarist who's like better than me, and he's an incredible singer. So then we were like, okay, we got a fucking band now. So we were playing like a lot more shows, just local stuff though, like the Relay for Life at the high school. That was
Sorry.
always a fun one.
Sorry, what time frame are we talking again?
So in year, this is 2012, 13, 14.
Okay.
I graduated in 14.
All right.
So yeah, we were just playing a bunch of local stuff. Super fun. Then I went off to college. And I got really into house music and like electronic stuff.
Nice.
So I tried to produce a little bit of Electronic music. My drummer at the time was making rap beats on something called Machine. Machine is a piece that a company called Native Instruments makes. What Machine is like it's a beat pad and there's a software. There's a Machine pad and the Machine software, and they work one to one. Like they're exactly one to one with each other. You could just use the software, but the pad makes it like, you have a physical element that controls everything. It's not just like a MIDI thing. It's way more than MIDI. It's again, it controls everything going on in the software.
MIDI too.
Yeah,
We meme on.
It's like a hardware dog.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy you brought up House because we meme on House quite a bit because I love it and nobody else does.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I have a really funny take on how.
We still, yeah, you do, but we meme.
Yeah, I'm a producer in the genre. I still meme on it, or I meme on myself, I guess, because like whenever I hear reggaeton, I'm like, bro, reggaeton's so stupid. It's just. It's like every song is the same drum beat. It's so stupid. And then someone plays some house, and I'm like, "This is sick."
Yeah.
So I got an.
It's not House anymore. It's Casa.
I hate it.
Reggaeton.
I hate it. That's funny though. Anyway, so I got a machine pad and I tried to make some house. It was, awful because, when you start producing music on a computer, you're basically learning how to program before you can actually make anything that is even remotely close to your like music taste, right? So I did that for a little bit, and then coming up on the end of college, I was like, I guess I'm moving back home. I have no idea what I'm doing with my life. Like, I would love to like record that band because we recorded one song in Orlando with a guy who was nice enough to like have us come up, charge us a cheap rate. We recorded a song. So like I got into Ableton. I started learning, started like pirating some software and shit like that, kind of learning how to mix and record and whatever. Really didn't know shit. Still like low key don't know shit, but anyway, like definitely way ahead of where I was.
Nobody does.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, what the fuck are we doing? Anyway, so I moved back home and I kind of convinced the guys. My bassist had moved to New England, so it was me, the drummer, and the guitarist and singer. So we kind of had a band. We just didn't have a bassist, but we could fake bass. So I ended up buying a bass, like a $200 one, and we just kind of like made that happen. So we filled in that gap. And yeah, we recorded that album. It took us a long time, and honestly, it kind of tore the band apart. Me and the drummer don't really see eye to eye anymore, so that's unfortunate. But we did finish the album. It's on, everything. The band is called Everglades. The EP is called Pining, and dude, like for a first record, the first thing I ever recorded, mixed master, the first thing that we as a group ever made, I think it sounds fucking dynamite. Like I really do.
Awesome.
I think it's really cool. We did like a lot of like tempo changes. My drummer, to his credit, was like so fucking talented, like genuinely so talented and really creative too. Like he pushed us to do like, like time signature changes, tempo changes, a lot of like wacky shit like that we would have never done.
It definitely seems to be a common theme to me. I don't play any instruments, so I'm talking as an outside looking in, but it seems to me that the skill level of the drummer really like makes a massive difference on a band.
100%.
Really elevates it to a new level. Because you can kind of fake or like get away with like not really knowing so much.
I think singing and guitar is really where you're like, put up on a fucking on the spotlight's on you, right? A couple of like the older heads that I've shown this music to, they're like, "Oh, your drummer knows what he's doing." Yeah, It sucks that I don't really work with him anymore. It just when you play in a band, bro, you're married to those people, and it's tough, man. It's really tough. It's like as much as it's like working and learning and getting that fucking song recorded and writing and doing all that stuff, you have to like maintain a relationship too. And like I wasn't really focused on maintaining the relationship, and I think that hurt his feelings a lot. So we just don't really see eye to eye anymore. But anyway, so we kind of had that falling out.
Many such cases.
Yeah, I mean, dude, this isn't a new tale, right? And we had the falling out like right around COVID too. So it's just like the whole fucking world was in disarray along with us, right?
It's funny. COVID is March. You brought up earlier when you what is it?
The spring training thing.
Spring training.
Yes.
That's actually right. The exact time that I started the podcast too.
Oh no shit. Yeah. Yeah, it was a weird transition period for everyone.
Yeah.
So I got back into making house because I was like, well, I have all this recording knowledge. I have like all this equipment now.
Cool.
I kind of just don't want to work with people because it's just been so goddamn frustrating, and I just want to sit down and fucking grind. You know what I mean? So I started getting back into the house thing. I got really into like lo-fi house. And I've been doing that ever since, man. And it's super fun. It's really cool to have like a niche genre, for better or worse. Pretty much for worse, to be completely honest with you.
In your experience, in your opinion, what are like the pros and cons of working with other people versus producing solo?
That's an interesting question. How do I answer this? So working with people, I think a lot of the time the music is just better with different heads on it. but also sometimes you clash, and then that creates problems.
Being forced to figure out some kind of compromise.
Yeah, I think those are valuable skills to learn. So that's something that you kind of do need to be thrown in the fire and just like learn how to work with people, especially with music, because it a lot of times it's just fucking awkward, bro. It's like you finally get there and you're sitting in front of like the recording thing, and you both have a guitar in your hand, and you're just like looking at each other. It's like,
So
shit,
well,
like
it's
what now?
easy-
So
it's
you
easy-
start or me start?
Yeah, it's like, oh,
It's
so
easy
weird.
to forget how intimate of a process creating music is until you're there with somebody else doing it, and you realize how differently you see the creative process when it's being. It's like the you like it can be in whatever until it's being observed.
Mm.
Kind of that quantum theory. It's like
Yeah.
a similar thing where it's like you can be whatever you want. When you're just doing it by yourself, you can do whatever you want, experiment. But when you have somebody watching over you, observing the decisions you make,
Dude.
suddenly any creative decision you make is an implication of your character to this other person, whether you're subconsciously aware of that or not. And it's kind of
Yeah, I think that's very well put. Dude, a blank Ableton session is a very intimidating thing.
oh
It's
yeah,
very intimidating, especially Ableton, bro. I feel like Ableton is like, I love Ableton and I use it.
Mhm.
It's like my heavy lifting doll, right? Like I make most of my shit in Machine because it's like super fun. And I can basically make a whole track with barely touching a mouse and keyboard, which is like, exactly what I try to
All the
accomplish.
macros down.
It's just, dude, it's
And
the pad.
instruments.
If you buy the bigger
Yeah.
pad, you can
Mhm.
essentially do everything you need to on the pad. Like I need my mouse and keyboard to load a couple instruments, maybe some plugins. Moving MIDI around is kind of just easier on the mouse. You can do it on the pad, but it's just easier with a mouse. That's all I use it for.
so you
dude.
use Machine within Ableton?
No, I don't
okay.
do that.
You use Machine?
Yeah, just
Okay,
standalone.
Gotcha.
Machine has its drawbacks for sure.
Have you ever tried using or considered using the push?
I'm sure it's cool, and it's probably a huge step up from Machine, but I'm proficient in Machine at this point.
No, that's
I feel like
understandable.
I'm
In
close.
deep.
Yeah, I really am.
I mean,
And
there's DAWs like that with me and Ableton. Like, I could probably switch to Bitwig and have a way better time, but like I've been using Ableton for 14 years. now.
Yeah, and dude, it's like when you have an idea or you have like some inspiration or you just feel like making a song, like whatever you're quickest with is like where you should go, right?
Yeah,
It's the concept of like the best camera is the one that you have on you, right?
Mhm.
That's kind of the idea there. Yeah, a couple words on Machine because like that's really what I have made my entire music hobby on, especially since I've started with the house music thing, like I don't know, 3-4 years ago. It sucks as a DAW. It sucks, bro. I don't like it. It's super cool because it's so expressive and interactive, and like there's so much human feel to it. But it's lacking very, very vital things. And Native Instruments is trying to sell it as like a DAW, but it's lacking two things that just keep it from being able to do that. It's lacking automation. It has automation, but you can't make a fucking diagonal line. You cannot make a diagonal line. How stupid is that, dude?
So it's just straight.
No end. Yeah. So if you want to make a sweep, you have to record the automation and turn the knob yourself. And it's
Okay.
going to make like infinite fucking little data points of it going in a diagonal
Oh
line.
my
So
god.
you have to do it a couple times until it sounds natural.
Yeah.
And it's like Ableton, in contrast, which is a tough comparison because Ableton is just dynamite with automation. You can do whatever you want. So that sucks. There's a couple other things that kind of blow, but I've found workarounds for that I don't even really think about anymore. But the one thing that really fucking blows and the thing that's really holding it back is something called PDC. That's plug-in delay compensation. So what that means is plug-in delay compensation is like
He knows what the fuck that means.
yeah.
I don't.
So when you load a plugin in Ableton, if it's a really CPU heavy
Okay.
plugin, it will like delay that audio, and Ableton knows
Mm.
that, and it will compensate however the fuck it does and make it so your track still
Okay.
plays in time, even though your CPU is getting used. You're losing CPU resource, of course, because you just loaded a CPU heavy plugin. But your songs, everything still plays at the same time. Machine doesn't have that. So if I load a bunch
Oh
of like
God.
FabFilter multibands on a track, that track will be delayed a couple milliseconds, and you can hear it. So it's like I remember like making
That's
songs
crucial.
and I put a really wacky Pro Q3 and I had a bunch of random shit going on with it. And it was enough that it created a delay. I remember thinking, I'm like, dude, this kick drum sounds like a hair late. And like, this is a minor example, but I have major examples like Little Altar Boy, which is a Soundtoys plugin, great plugin, adds a shitload of latency, but it just delays my vocals by like, we're talking like half a second there.
Yeah.
And it destroys.
So is that delay both in just playback and if you were to like bounce it?
If you
like,
bounce it, it's still there.
Really?
I'm pretty sure, right? I don't know if I've ever actually tried that. but like
Well, typically,
It's probably there.
if you balance it, you should be able to just like push it to where it is.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
That's why I was asking.
Because that's how I dealt with that in Ableton before I realized what the problem was. For me, it was just ozone. If I put ozone,
Yeah,
on,
ozone.
on whatever, then I get that delay on every one of my plugins, no matter what. And as soon as I delete it, it's gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've realized that like, what was I going to say? I lost my train of thought there.
How you dealt with it in Ableton?
Well, I was going to get more into kind of how, like what you were saying with how Machine doesn't have.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a shitty DAW, right?
Yeah.
So I deal with a similar issue with a lot of the hardware that I used to perform on, because I use a lot of Electron hardware, which is a similar philosophy where it's kind of like it's a groove box effectively.
Right.
It's less of a DAW, a hardware DAW kind of like Machine is being marketed as, and these are more sold as like kind of instruments, like individual synthesizers that can be performed like instruments by themselves or part of a grander whole. And I think that what brought my attention more towards those versus Machine, despite Machine being far more capable as a performance, hardware and software because of what you said. What brought me to Electron was the fact that Electron, from as long as I've known about them, advertise these things as instruments. The things that are simple to learn, but extremely complex to master. And a lot of the mastery comes in overcoming a lot of the limitations that you have to make this box do really cool and crazy things that,
low skill floor, high skill ceiling.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas, Machine is kind of like somewhere in the middle of that, where, you have a lot more, the performance capabilities are a lot more clear and concise there. But if you're approaching it like you would a DAW, out the gate, then you're going to be frustrated because there's a lot. Whereas I figure that's kind of an issue that I have with the two, because I know exactly what you mean as far as like them marketing it as a DAW, when in reality, in all the situations that I've seen the Machine used well, it's either been in the context of creating loops for beats,
right,
or used live to perform stuff out live.
Yeah, like Fred again does.
Yeah, exactly.
I tried to do the live thing with Machine. Because again, I was making all my songs in Machine. So the problem with the plugin delay compensation comes along when you try to do like a mix and you're loading a bunch of fucking plugins and stuff. I wanted to only use Machine when I first started out, when I was doing my first album, which is called Home. And that's what I did. And I still do some mixes just all in Machine, because like I kind of know what plugins are going to give me delay and which ones aren't. Most a good like 60% of my plugins don't do it at all. So I can use those, but then some do. So you just kind of learn how to like work around. Again, like, if you're using Machine to make an entire song, it's just workaround after workaround after workaround. And I've gotten to the point where I almost want to make like a YouTube series, just like sharing all like the little tricky tricks that I've learned. Because some of them are just so natural to me now, but it took me like a week to figure out how to pull it off in the first place. But anyway, so I was doing like little open mics at like Terra Firmata. And I would bring up my laptop and my Machine pad. And what I would do is I would load up Machine within Ableton, right? 2 instances of Machine within Ableton. And my pad can switch between the instances. So I would have one song on one and one on the other. And I would play the first song, and then I could literally like, maybe I would mute all the instruments and just have the drums going. And then I can mute the drums on the other one and then bring in the instruments of the other one, because it's all tempo sync, because it's all running within Ableton. So it's on the same clock, right? And that was so much fun, bro. That was so cool. I was doing like live electronic sets.
That sounds just like really overcomplicated DJ.
It is, but it was so cool.
Yes.
Because I had mad control over everything.
Yeah.
Mind you, my whole project is in front of me on this pad.
Yeah,
so if it was like, I want to just like mute a kick drum for a second, or like do like a fucking like scratch, or like do a filter sweep over the whole song, maybe just a filter sweep over the vocals, anything, I could do it. It was super fun. And I wasn't just pressing play on the song. I was like, the song is laid out in scenes. So I would just like click through the scenes when it's time to move to the next thing. So I had like mad control over everything. That was super like, just super empowering. I really like doing that. The problem is, I get to the second song. Now I need to load up a different project on the first one. And when I was doing my album Home, my projects were a little bit more like just smaller, just less intensive. And it worked. But then as I did my second album, they started to get a little bit more hefty and my computer would just crash. And that happened to me a bunch at that fucking Terraformata open mic. And it got to the point where I quit doing it. I just couldn't make it happen anymore, man. And like I tried workarounds for days and days and days to make that happen. But I did do 1 hour set that was really, really cool. I had a whole thing planned out. I even did like transitions between the songs in case I had a crash, which I did have a crash. But I still had like the music going somehow. I don't really remember how, but that was super, super fun. So I'm happy to have pulled that off and kind of make like that whole like idea of how to perform more or less a success in my mind. But it just wasn't sustainable long term, bro. My computer just couldn't handle it. I could have gotten a better computer, I guess, but whatever.
Well, I mean, now they have the machine, the Mark III. I think that's
It's
standalone.
called the Machine Plus,
Machine Plus.
which is the Mark III, but it's in a standalone version. I have my gripes with that. I don't have it. I've thought about getting one. You can't really do like song to song with that because again, it's only going to load one project at a time.
Yeah.
So there's that problem. If you can have multiple projects within one project, dope. You probably can because that thing's CPU bound to its own CPU. So how much can you really have going at once?
Fair.
I've heard that you can pretty much load that CPU pretty quickly. So that's the gripe with trying to do live performances with that. The biggest gripe I have with it is not battery powered, so it has to be plugged into the wall. Bro, what the fuck? That sucks so bad.
Yeah,
Like,
that's by far and away my biggest issue with, like I said, the Electron stuff that I work with too. It's like
not battery powered.
no,
Dude, fuck,
Like,
man. Like,
it's
put a battery in it.
it's like this
Damn.
perfect
There's
little
RAM in there. Put a battery in it.
Dude,
Fuck.
and like there are people that do the mods for like $60 because you just have
I've
to
seen people mod.
yeah, you have
It's
to open
sad.
it up. You have to solder a fucking lithium battery to it, and it just works.
It's sad. There's
I
like
was, this conversation was making me think without like modular, like people building PCs and stuff. Why isn't that more common in like the music space?
Yeah. Can I say what I'm pretty sure? I don't know this 100%, but from what I've like conversations I've seen in the forums, I'm pretty sure that the reason that a lot of synthesizer people don't do battery operated stuff on their higher end gears for the sake of longevity, because the batteries can go bad after, you know, however long versus whatever hardware components. Because right now in any of those,
Why not just have like it be a replaceable battery?
What?
Why not, instead of an internal built-in battery, just have replaceable ones? Like,
Because then
like how cameras work.
because that would probably make the product cost a lot more. Cost is another thing.
yeah.
Yeah, because then you have to think of the logistics of, instead of just building a solid steel square panel, now you have to carve out the hole, get the screws, make sure that the screws have something milled that they can screw into for the battery, space for the battery. You know, it's a whole like thing you got to compensate for with this.
But wouldn't that kind of wouldn't that be offset by the fact that they don't have to include a battery in the package? They can make it so you have couldn't they just make it so you can plug it in or have a battery, like make it interchangeable?
Yeah,
Wouldn't it be nice? There's obviously
because,
Like I'm thinking, I'm trying to compare to like a lot of how cameras work, like common everyday cameras.
I think it just needs so much power. It needs like, you know, it's a computer you're running. So eventually they'll be able to do it on battery. I'm really holding out for the Machine Plus 2. There's no word on that. I'm making that up. I'm assuming they're going to do one because I'm sure the Machine Plus did good enough.
You heard it here, folks. You heard it here first, folks. It's coming out. It's happening.
I really hope so, man, because like I think the next thing they do with that will be the one, because right now there's a bunch of problems. You have to have it plugged into a wall. All the software it's running is like hoarded software from a PC to this machine. So it's not that great. A Kai,
it's not like optimized for it.
Yeah.
Because
the MPC One and I think the Akai Force are competitors to this. I don't know if those are battery powered. I think one of them is, at least.
The Akai Force, I'm pretty sure is.
I think it is too. I really don't know though. Maybe not. But those have like native. I'm pretty sure. I know the Force. I'm pretty sure does, because Flint Blade uses one of those, and you know, shout out Flint. And he told me that his stuff is native, although he has his own gripes with that one. Like the EQ is really shitty, or whatever.
Oh yeah, Dustin could give you a whole list of gripes about the Force.
Yeah. So like, I'm hoping that the Machine Plus 2, if they ever make it, will be battery powered and have just like better software optimization. Because if they can pull those two things off, bro, you won't catch me without one. You know what I mean?
I'm just imagining like my little synth is. I know it's not the same because it's much more simplified, but my little synth that I got is both battery and wall.
Yeah.
You could do either one. I'm just imagining, just scale that up. You know?
Yeah, man. I hope they do it soon. I mean, dude, we're in 2024 now. It's like, it really is a question of like, boys, like, what the fuck? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, let's do it. Like, you know that if you make this thing battery powered, it'd be sick. Like, I remember seeing when the Machine Plus came out, there's this girl on Instagram who just does a bunch of machine content, and she like bought this like external battery pack thing that like creates like essentially wall outlet voltage or whatever.
Cool.
And it lasted her for like 2 hours, and she went and sat under a tree and made a beat on Machine, which is like the idea that everyone had when it's like, oh, it's a standalone machine. I could take this to the fucking park and like make music. Like that's the idea. That's what everyone wants to do. And it's like for her to have to get like an external battery and like fucking think about it.
I mean, to be fair, the power banks that they sell nowadays are pretty fucking crazy for the price. Like, you can get a power bank that'll last you, you know, a solid 5-hour beat making session for like a couple $100.
Yeah, I mean,
but
that's
sucks you have to spend that extra couple $100, but you either spend it there or you spend it on the product to have that battery.
Yeah, I think we just want it.
That was my point with
product.
making removable batteries.
Yeah, I could totally see Machine
Because,
doing
like-
like a proprietary removable battery that's rechargeable.
Yeah,
Why not?
that's
Then
kind of
sell like more proprietary batteries and let me charge it while I'm using one. And then when it's time,
Exactly.
you just like save your project, slip it out, put another one in.
just like
Good to go.
a lot
and
of
also
a lot of tech does this. I keep saying cameras, fucking like video game controller, like Xbox controllers. There's all kinds of stuff that has
Yeah.
exactly what you're describing. You could either power it with a cable or rechargeable proprietary battery. They make their money. Oh,
Ooh,
Pizza, there's pizza.
they make their money
Hell yeah.
off.
Yeah.
They can make their money back by just making more of those batteries, and people will buy them.
Yeah, dude, I'd buy them. And I mean, like, let's look at like, you know, the Machine Plus is wall powered because it's like essentially a computer in a little box, and that's tough to make battery powered. But is it because laptops
They're a
have
G-
batteries? So like, what the fuck are we
There a
doing?
GPU
but-
running in that
No,
thing
there's
or
not
what?
fucking GPU.
But the
Yeah,
thing is,
NVIDIA
like,
is
yes.
hooking up with native
thing
instruments.
is,
Imagine.
Dude.
yes, laptops are battery powered, but oftentimes when they are on battery power, they're a lot weaker. And
be,
even
yeah.
then, the
Yeah,
battery power
that's
is
common.
not great when you're doing anything resource intensive at all.
Yeah, I mean, if you're using a machine,
Unless you drop
Probably
$4,000,
resource-intensive.
like I,
and you know, and so to the credit for a lot of this hardware,
this thing is
a lot of the credit to this hardware, a lot of it is pushing whatever
I
the
am in
CPU limit of the hardware is to its limit in order to make it as smooth and stable as possible.
yeah,
And so in order to, you know, maintain that stability, it probably utilizes a lot of power.
yeah.
And
Hopefully, if
thus-
they make a new one, they'll
and
have
this is
like,
coming
a
from-
cooling
I
solution
have
too.
no idea what I'm talking about, for the record. This is all speculation in this particular, but
So yeah, my whole house music thing is like on Machine. I really do love it at the end of the day, but it's like since I love it, I have a bunch of gripes with it because I wish it was
Got
better in a
problems.
lot of ways. But yeah, you know, I've been doing it for a good amount of years now. I have 3 albums out. They're all like more or less EPs. They all have like 6 songs on them. I have like 3 songs in the bank right now that I just need to like buckle down and put out. It's really tough for me to finish post production. I wish I could just pay someone to do post production, but I didn't go that route, so I do it myself. And it's a journey. Post production is a real bitch, let me tell you.
we gotta go.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the price, it's the artistic vision, it's all that jazz, and I'm in the hole far enough now where it's
That
like,
I completely.
I'm just
understand,
gonna- and it's like, you know, as you get better,
and
you
try and convince your
Those last
artistic
two
vision to that guy,
get- yeah, right.
the one that we're thinking of.
Yeah,
He'll probably do it for cheap, but
he'll do it in his way.
he'll do it his
In
way.
his image.
Luckily, I'm a little fortunate because I'm doing like lo-fi house, so it's like sometimes when shit doesn't really sound that good, you just pass it off as lo-fi and
Yeah.
you know, send it on its way, kind of thing.
Beats to
Uh,
study and chill to.
Yeah. I'm definitely I'm with this new stuff I'm making, or I have made, I more or less have finished. I'm definitely going like more of like a lo-fi route because that was like kind of the goal in the first place, was to do lo-fi house, and then like I kind of just ended up making whatever came to me. A lot of it is like lo-fi influence, but some of it's really just like not lo-fi house. It's like just like tech housey or
I was
whatever.
about to say, because I was listening to your latest EP that you released last April, I think it was.
Yeah, I think I released it in May, but funny enough, I called it April.
Oh, it was
so-
April. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So-
Yeah, it was called April. I was listening to that and I was like, this doesn't sound very like I understand. I can definitely hear the lo-fi influence, but the
influence,
production
yeah.
on it is very solid.
Yeah,
Like
thank
it
you.
sounds
Thank you.
good. So, I mean,
Yeah, I'm definitely leaning into that a lot more. I've
I'm
got
bad.
to,
it sounds very akin to the stuff that like Sofa Sound makes, kind of that like
you think so?
groovy,
Interesting.
like kind of house.
I'm bad at recalling names of tracks, but what I've heard of yours so far, I agree, is very well produced.
yeah, I appreciate that a lot, guys. Thank you. Yeah, so I've kind of just like I've gotten a couple pieces of software that have really helped me lean into the lo-fi style. Before I was kind of just filtering stuff, right? Just like filtering the drums and like just cutting off high end and going that route. Now I'm using 3 different pieces of software to kind of achieve a lo-fi style, and they're all so badass. One of them is RC20, of course. I don't know if you guys know what RC20 is, but it
I
is
do not.
It's a plugin that's a lot of people are using nowadays, and it's kind of like a modular thing where it has like vinyl crackle, it has distortion, it has like a little delay and reverb, and there's just like a bunch of different ways to kind of achieve kind of an old soundy style kind of vibe.
Cool.
That one's a little subtle. You can go really hard with it, but it's kind of subtle. You can do a lot of stuff with it. It's not just for lo-fiing stuff, but I really like the way that they implemented vinyl crackle because there's like kind of a follow thing with it. So it's like if the song or if the channel isn't making sound, the vinyl crackle can like fade out. So you can really have a lot of control over the vinyl sound. There's another thing called Sketch Cassette, which fucking kicks ass, bro. Sketch Cassette is so sick. It's really just like a lo-fi plugin. There's a lot you can do with it. But what I like about it is there's like a bunch of like, it's not presets, but it's just like modes in a way. So there's like 3 modes that are like master modes where it's like really shitty sounding, kind of mid sounding, actually kind of good sounding. And then within that, there's 4 different modes that all do the same thing where it's like really shitty, mid, high mid, and then high, right? So then you have like all these like different flavors, however many that adds up to. What was it, 4 times 3? So you have like 12 different types that you can go from.
Fucking math whiz over here.
So that's just like a starting point. And then you have other shit that you can manipulate past that in the plugin, and it's just so good for like bussing stuff to sound lo-fi. So that's super cool. And then there's something called RX 950, which is a super simple plugin. It's based off of a rack piece. I can explain to you everything that it does. It's an input output gain. So you can smash an input gain and lower the output gain and get like distortion and like compression that way.
Cool.
There is a filter on it with a set resonance. Use it if it sounds good. Most of the time it doesn't, so whatever. It has an audio bandwidth knob, which is essentially just a sample rate degrader. That's all it's really doing. So what that's useful for is like if you need to cut off like annoying high end on something, this is an interesting way to do it. Where if you were to just roll it off with an EQ, it sounds like you rolled it off with an EQ. That might be fine. But sometimes I want to get rid of some high end in a way that doesn't sound like it's EQ'd, and this like sample rate degrading thing is like the way to fucking do it. It works so well, and it this one doesn't sound too like bit ratey. You know what I mean? When it sounds like really distorted, it doesn't sound like that. It sounds smooth in a way, and it's really nice.
I heard that same exact technique used, but in the opposite direction on by 40, the producer for Drake's producer. He used that technique a lot on his like early stuff, a lot on Views, where he would do the same thing but rolling off the low end, which would end up getting you that like really like warbly kind of almost underwater kind of.
I think you have it backwards, dude. He was rolling off high end doing that. Yeah, because when you lower sample rate, you're gonna.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. You're right. It was
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, I remember seeing that he did an episode of Pensado's Place, and he was talking about
the same video that I saw.
Dude, Pensado's Place, such a gift to this world. Dave Pensado, what a fucking legend, man.
Absolutely.
Living legend, absolutely. Same thing with 40, dude. He's incredible. I'm like a Drake fan, I guess. Drake's cool. I'm not really a big rap fan, but like just hearing 40's beats.
Definitely more of a
Do Not Disturb is a song off of More Life, and that sample, dude. Oh my god, it's so good.
We've memed on Drake quite a bit, but one thing I won't meme on for is the production.
Dude, the production
even the production that 40 isn't on, like he knows how to choose his beats a lot of the time. Maybe not as much like with his recent album.
Except for that one like dance like house album he did was kind of mid.
Yeah, I haven't listened to the modern stuff, but yeah, I mean anyone he's working with is going to be world class, so it's going to be good. But specifically the stuff 40 does, I wonder if 40 even did the Do Not Disturb album or the song, because I'm pretty sure in the song he actually says like if Wonder do the beat. And then a line. I don't know who Wonder is, but maybe he did that beat. Anyway, it has that exact same 40 style where it's like all super like underwater soundy, like all the high ends rolled off. So yeah, and then that RX 950 piece has a brilliance knob on the back end, which is just another way to control high end. You turn it up and it kind of gets a little bit shinier. You turn it down, it gets a little bit duller. It's really subtle. It's really good sometimes, and sometimes it does nothing. I don't know. Sometimes it's useful. But yeah,
that phrase can apply to just literally anything.
Yeah, I know, but that trio of plugins is like really good.
At the end of the day, it's all artistic,
Yeah,
like what are you going for? What do you have available to you? What you're trying to find different ways to accomplish what you want. And sometimes you might use something that's not what it's intended for, but it still gets you the result you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when I was trying to have a song out by the time I came here, but I kind of just finished tweaking it like in the last 3 days. So I'm planning on putting that through DistroKid pretty soon here and having it up on everything. And I think that I'm going to start doing singles. I've been doing this whole like 6-song album thing for a while, and I just want to do more releases. I don't know. I don't really have like a huge following. I have a couple of people who are like super super nice, and like they tell me they listen to my stuff all the time, which is just like, you know, one of like the greatest feelings ever.
Yeah,
I have to say, like
absolutely.
it's really
Yeah.
amazing. Like, you know, shout out Griffin. He's been like one of my fans lately.
Peter.
I don't know.
Peter Griffin. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm retarded.
God damn it! You made me do the Peter Griffin.
Yeah, I was
Like unintentionally. Damn, you pulled that out of me. That was weird. Anyway, so yeah, these couple singles I'm gonna be releasing definitely lean into the lo-fi style a lot more, and I'm pretty stoked on them. So that's gonna be pretty
That's
cool.
awesome.
And yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at with the project. I don't really do too many collabs with people. I have one girl, her name's Alexis. She goes by Alexis Rose.
Oh, yeah,
as
we know.
you guys know her. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's a super nice girl,
Yeah,
really
Alexis.
talented, incredible singer.
absolutely.
I had her come through for like a little vocal session just to get some vocal samples from her. And all I did was I listened to a bunch of pop punk before she came over and just wrote down like shit that I thought of as I was listening to it, you know, steal a word here and there and just make a different phrase kind of thing. And I just had her sing it. It was like super awkward. She didn't know what she was doing, but like she knows how to sing. She knows what she's doing, but she was just like, what the fuck is this guy having me do? Right.
Yeah.
That's where she was kind of confused. But I just like, you know, put a song that I already made so she gets the tempo and maybe the key. And like she would just like kind of spit the same sample over and over again. And I made more or less like a sample pack for myself. And I've been using that same fucking pack for so long. I keep saying like, man, I should really have her in for another session and get more of these. But it's like every time I need to pull from that file, it's like, well, I haven't used this one yet. And it works. Dude, it's incredible.
You know, very different method, but same, I guess, ethos or something. I've, over the course of the years of editing this podcast and of dabbling with making a little bit of music here and there too, I have saved like hundreds of random sound bites and sound effects
Yeah.
and quotes and like all kinds of random shit, and I just put them in a file that I share between him, me, and
Yeah. Healthy
One
thing
of
to
you-
do, bro.
yeah,
You,
I just
it's
save 'em all.
amazing how when you
because they
pull
come
from-
back and be useful sometimes.
Building the sound library is the biggest tip that
Yeah.
any new producer can acquire.
Yeah, and
ever.
when I was recording the band, like I heard someone say it. I think it was in like TV or something. It was like, I remember what it was. It was a news clip. I wasn't involved, but it's an internet thing where this like guy is in like some country ass town, I guess, and a bug flies in his.
I know what you're talking about.
And
Yeah,
he's like,
Yep.
I'm tired of this country ass
Yep.
town.
What really happened on that Thursday here at Augusta High School that led to Chris Wood's death? The fuck is that? Shit! I'm dying in this fucking country ass fucked up town.
I love that.
I think they had like the cameraman like say something, and he was just like, yeah, they teach you like never stop recording, just keep recording because it's like it's worth it. And it's like it's so true in the studio, man, because you pick up so much cool stuff. And some bands definitely overdo it. Like a Data Remember overdid it on their Common Courtesy album, where they just have so many bites from the studio that it gets like super cheesy. But if you get like a couple cool ones, you can make so much cool shit. And
we have a little inside joke that I don't know how many times we've actually like followed through on it. A couple times, but we just have an inside joke that every time we hear some interesting noise, we're like, sample that.
Yes.
yeah, right.
Immediately.
Absolutely.
It's worth it. I'll tell you guys the coolest sample I ever did. I was at my parents' house just out of college trying to start recording with a band. You know, I think I was no job at the time, might have just started the TV thing. So my parents kind of live on top of this hill, and my recording setup was just like my computer, an interface, and my guitar amp. It's a 60 watt tube amp. It's a Black Star normal amp, I guess. I don't know how this happened, but I'm sitting there with my guitar. I think I told you about this.
You
thing.
told me about
Yeah.
this.
I'm sitting there with my guitar plugged into the interface, and I'm just like scrolling my phone or something, and I'm hearing, ground noise a little bit, or just like some fuzz, like normal fuzz, because I probably had the gain cranked or something, and I just hear something weird, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? So I'm like, it sounds like it's coming from the amp. Like, I'm like, oh fuck, is there like a buzz from the wall outlet? Like, what the fuck is this? And I turn it up, and I fucking shit you not, I hear people talking. Okay, I'm not insane. I'll get there. So like now I crank the amp and crank the gain and crank the headphones, and I'm picking up radio frequencies through my amp. Don't know how.
it's
It
so hard.
doesn't happen anymore. It was just the right place with the right equipment or whatever the fuck. And I ended up recording a bunch of it. And
That's
there's a sample where we did this song on that Everglades album or EP. And we did like an extended version where we did like a little intro to one of the songs we thought was cool. And it's like, as we go out of like kind of like the slow, chill intro, there's like a big like wave of guitar, like feedback or whatever. And then it kind of just goes into like radio crackly noise, which is a sample coming in. And then the fucking radio guy goes, in the context of, I appreciate that I'm not under investigation. Oh, anyway, you're fired. Then dude, it sounds sick.
Can I use that song for the outro?
Yeah, dude, 100%.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's super sad to listen to that stuff. I'm not with that band anymore, but it's good music, man. I swear to God. But yeah, dude, it sounds so cool. And it works so well. Like, I was obviously talking about Trump because like Trump was just like in the news 24/7, and you know he's always firing people. But it's a sick soundbite, man. So yeah, sampling's fun.
So random, like, I'm not really going anywhere. I don't have like, I'm not going to a topic with this. It's just a random aside. You're talking about like right place, right time, like catching those frequencies somehow.
Sure.
I went down this like 2-day, out of nowhere, 2-day like YouTube rabbit hole about ham radio.
Really?
That shit
Okay.
is fascinating.
I don't really know much about it.
Well, because number one, it's like a whole other world of audio equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, and it's crazy. I'm not going to get all deep into it, but one of the things that I learned is that people who are really into ham radio, or just radio in general, it applies generally, but ham radio it's more an enthusiast thing. They actually track like weather patterns and also solar patterns, and also has to do with like time of year and all these things, because it actually affects the way the radio frequencies bounce off the atmosphere.
Oh, it's so weird.
And so you can get signals to travel further at like certain times of the year and certain weather conditions, where normally your signal will only reach to here because of just distance, but because of the weather being the way it is and the time of year and the solar, whatever, it can actually bounce off the atmosphere and travel to the other side of the world much
That's
further
so
than it
wacky.
normally would. It's crazy. It's
really interesting.
it's amazing. I really recommend both of you guys
Well, I'm
check out that shit
Ham
at some point.
radios.
It's so dope.
I'm going
in
to
the
need to
same
do
way-
it anyway eventually.
In the same, oh yeah, that makes sense for you,
Yeah.
for the drone stuff.
Mm-hmm.
In the same way that like people in music, they make home studios and stuff. Ham radio people, they call them ham shacks. They have it's a common thing to like make. It's like your dream setup of like all of your equipment and gear, in just a studio little space where you can operate everything. It's really cool.
I wonder what, like, are they trying to hear? Is there broadcasts on ham radio,
No,
or they're just
so
really
ham-
listening to like static?
No, well, yes. So sometimes ham radio is basically a cutout section of all radio frequencies
Sure.
that are dedicated just for like civilian or like enthusiast use, hobbyist use.
Oh, really?
And it's not all, but many countries recognize it, and you have to be licensed to use it. It's not just anybody can do it. You have to be licensed. You have to pass the tests, and you get a call sign and everything. You have to use your call sign and stuff. And there's like etiquette to it. There's a way to actually correctly operate on those frequencies. And one of the things, so there's like competitions that people do where like they try to get as many connections as possible with other people that are operating radio, other side of the world, other places in their country or whatever. There's like competitions to see how many connections you can make, or there's competitions on how far you can get a connection, how like distance wise. You can also triangulate signals of like where a broadcast is coming from. And so you can actually, there's people will do meetups, and there'll be like a beacon set somewhere, and it's
If you
hidden.
can find it.
It's hidden.
Yeah.
And it's very simple actually.
That's so sick.
The setup required to do that triangulation is actually stupid, dummy simple. You can make it with like measuring tape. You make an antenna, and then you have to this one little piece of gear that's basically like, I don't know. I don't know deep enough to explain all that part, but it seems dummy simple. And you can basically you're like waving the thing around to figure out where the strong signal's coming from, right? You figure out, okay, it's coming from that direction. And then you travel horizontal to it, and then you go around again and you find where that signal is. And then you've created a triangle like slice if you're like sketching it correctly. And then you're literally triangulating where that signal is coming from specifically, pinpoint. And so people will do ham radio enthusiasts will do meetups where like beacons are set and people have to find them manually by going out in the woods and like looking for it.
Shit.
And
This
then
is
the
like mecha nerdy, man.
it's so dope though. It's so freaking cool. But people use ham for not just fun stuff, like because emergency signal, like police and fire and stuff, they don't use that. They don't use the ham frequencies bands, but enthusiasts will. Part of the reason they're so into it is for like disaster prep or living off grid or like all kinds of things like that. More reliable ways of communication if like cell towers go down or whatever the fuck. Radio will still be there,
right?
Pretty much. Radio, like, well, in a way is a more reliable, like, constant way of communicating. It's really fascinating. I was really deep. I was like, for like 2 days straight, my YouTube feed was just nonstop, like
ham radio.
Because there's like some YouTubers that are just that's all they
they're enthusiasts. No,
it's fucking cool.
Well, I mean, it is good to know just because it is sort of like it's an analog it's an analog means of technological communication that isn't like Morse code.
Right.
You know, to where you can still communicate sound with people, but you know, without having like a computer necessarily.
With the correct setup and know-how, you can use ham radio to communicate with satellites. You can communicate with the ISS. You can literally talk to people on the ISS.
Oh, no shit.
They do that sometimes when they pass over like a region or whatever. They'll just connect. You can connect. I was watching a guy on YouTube do that, where the ISS was like about to pass over and you tune to a certain frequency or whatever. I don't know. Again, I don't know that deep as they do, but they would literally connect with the ISS and they were talking to some astronaut for a couple minutes and then they let him go and then connected to another person. And like, it was so dope. And you can also send email over radio. There's a thing, there's like an emergency
RMail.
There's another term for it. I forget what it was, but there's like the example that they gave of why you would do this is like as an emergency way of sending less important information while like at sea. If you're like at sea and there's like nothing around, you can and there's satellites overhead or whatever, you can send radio signals to satellite or to wherever the closest, like there's relays too. There's like a lot of cities will have like relays to help boost signals. But they'll send signals to whatever, and then that thing, they're sending a type of signal that's not regular to speech. It's like code. And it gets translated into the form of email, and you can send it to an email address. Like literally, I can.
Interesting.
If somebody has the right setup, they could send me an email, and I can log into my Gmail and see their email that they sent via radio.
That's so weird.
There's so much cool shit you can do with ham radio. It's really, I had no idea. It was so like it blew my mind.
Yeah. It's just one of those things that like I would want to learn it beyond just the drone applications, wanting to learn it for like survival, because I feel like if shit hit the fan, like that would be such a valuable thing just to know how to operate a radio.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even if you just had like a handheld one that had like some advanced features that you just knew how to use would be huge. But as far as like building a ham shack, that sounds like a lot of money.
It's as deep as building a studio for yourself. Pretty much, it's like the same.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Level of depth.
Is there no? Okay, so I guess what made me think differently about it was like, is there any money to be made off the hobby at all?
I don't think so, really.
Because I think that would kind of be what I feel like would push something like that into being a lot more mainstream. Because it is really cool. It's very deep, very nerdy. But what I feel like what keeps it from being like more of a thing is the there being a more of like a general practical application of that skill set.
I'm
for that
sure
hardware.
I couldn't name it, but I'm sure that there's money to be made being a radio engineer and having those skills.
Oh yeah, just having the license, I'm sure.
However, the ham radio enthusiast aspect, it's not like the same thing as making music and putting it out there and growing a fan base and then eventually building a career.
Yeah,
there really isn't that in ham, because ham is literally specifically for fun. Like it's kind of what it's carved out.
I mean, hey,
it's for enthusiasts.
As a musician, you know, all my respect to anybody doing shit for just the passion of it, not making a single cent of money. You know, I'm right there with you. You know, I
saw a meme the other day. It said like, would you still make music if no one listened to your music and you made no money off it? It's like, That's
As
exactly
just so
what I
happens.
Yeah, it just so happens.
Yeah, I'd probably be inclined to make more music, honestly, without that added pressure.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
God. Oh yeah. You guys got any music projects coming up or anything like that? Like any releases?
Look
Go
at
first.
me. Yeah, I don't have anything necessarily planned right now, though. Once I kind of get more acclimated to my new job, I plan on probably investing more of my free time into working on my next album.
There you go.
I'd
Nice.
like to. Yeah, it's been a while, and feel like I've got a lot of like I've networked enough. I got a lot of like really awesome music talent like around me, like kind of close, that I could leverage towards making something like really cool.
Yeah.
But
How do you guys feel about collaborating? Like just in general?
I love it.
I, in concept, love it because here's the thing: I would not label myself a musician.
Okay.
I have no skill with instruments to begin with, and my experience with producing stuff is very like I've just made stuff for myself. I've made stuff for the podcast early on, like intros, outros stuff, and it was all very low skill, like just literally just figuring it out.
Yeah, you're learning
as
how to
I go.
program a computer.
Yeah,
more
like,
so than
it's
music,
all-
right.
Yeah, and I probably have more knowledge and skill than somebody who doesn't do anything, but
Uh-huh.
I have nowhere near as like either of you guys. So like I don't have like I'm not working on projects in that sense of like
Okay.
making an album or an EP or anything.
Well, you got the podcast.
I do the podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
So I treat the audio for the podcast. I do that kind of stuff. We do the open mic. So like I'm more of an audio engineer rather than like a music producer. That's
Yeah.
more, I guess, is a better title for what I do. And I do dabble with it though, because I find it fun and it's a little bit of an outlet and it's like
Sure.
something different to occupy my mind instead of the regular stuff. And here and there, like I've worked with our friends on stuff. Like I've made a beat with a friend that he plans to put on his second album. I've worked with Mike a couple times.
Yeah. Got
like-
the one beat with the shaker.
That was dope.
Yeah.
I've made a few beats that were like good,
Yeah.
but were not like they were not intended to be a project necessarily.
I hear you. Yeah.
That makes sense. So like here and there, I mean, eventually we do plan to eventually do some kind of collab thing.
Mhm.
Like, cause I just think it'd be fun.
Yeah.
He would do most of the heavy lifting probably. I'd probably just be making some funny noises and I don't know.
Oh, that's the fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's kind of the thing. Like, so the way I look at it, I'm kind of my approach to collaboration is very inspired by Kanye West, where it's kind of like I am bringing you on not because I'm trying to in part to appeal both to bring together my audience and your audience, and push each other mutually that way, but also because whoever I'm bringing on for a very specific song, I'm bringing them on for a very specific reason, a very specific set.
Yeah. You feel like they fit the vibe or whatever.
And that's what's really cool about a lot of the talent around here is that it's very diverse and there's a lot of very unique talent around here, a lot of unique voices and sounds and producers and things that I can hear utilized within the context of something that I would compose that would make it a grander piece, than having somebody
We
else.
love sample that.
Yeah, exactly. Seeing and recognizing somebody else's artistic vision and how it can apply to bettering your own projects that you apply your artistic vision to, and then learning from that.
You say
know what I mean?
artistic or autistic?
He said autistic.
Both.
100%.
I mean, the two are interchangeable. In this context, the two are very interchangeable.
A really good example I just thought of us actually sampling something,
I genuinely didn't mean to say that, but
but it works.
it does work. But you know what I meant. You know what I meant.
A couple good examples of us going sample that and actually doing it in ways that worked out was I won't name the bar, but at a bar we were hanging out and on the table I just had my vape and I was like clicking the vape just on the table and it made a specific like noise, and then I took a second one and did them together at the same time
Mhm.
or did them back to back or something, right? We recorded that and it made it like a really interesting almost clap or like clicker type noise.
A rim shot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what that would be.
sure,
Like a
yeah.
wood block rim shot.
So we sampled that one time. The shaker thing you just mentioned.
Mhm.
We were at Dustin's. No, we were here.
We were here.
We were here. We
in
were
this
here.
very room.
We were here in this very room. We were with Dustin.
Mhm.
That's what it was. And I'm not talking into the mic. We were here.
Didn't even realize.
We were here, and I was working on something just I just started making something. I'll show it to you after we're done. And I forget whose idea it was, but somebody said, you grabbed one shaker and our buddy Iran grabbed another one, and we just had a mic of 57 or something, and you guys were just shaking it, and it was like two different shakers that sound different at the same time, slightly like off from each other, and it just worked so well in the beat that I made. Oh my god, it was really cool.
I pulled off one of my like most proud moments of audio engineering recently, where I have this song and there's a little bit of randomness to like a delay that I put on a hi-hat, and one of my bounces just worked really well, right? So I have a mix project, and then I have like my mastering project, and I'm sure, as you know, the mastering project is just the stereo file, and then I manipulate that, and that's it. Okay.
Do you quick question just to add to your process? Do you do the thing where you have like a B track that you're trying to compare to, like for reference?
A reference track.
Yeah, reference track.
I believe in referencing so much. I don't do it as much as I should, but whenever like someone's talking to me about like getting into music, I'm like, dude, reference your headphones, reference your car, reference your studio.
We were talking about that with
Makani. Yeah, that's pretty much who I was talking about. Shout out Makani.
Shout out
DJ Algorithm.
Yeah, it's just it's everything, man. It's like referencing is everything. It's you learn how your speaker's supposed to sound. You learn how bass is supposed to sound out through these headphones or through your room or whatever. When I first made the rock album, when I was first learning, I was like sending these mixes out to the bandmates. And one of them got back to me. He's like, bro, why is there so much bass? He's like, I'm playing it through my Bluetooth speaker and this bass is ridiculous. I didn't have a subwoofer in my room. I had two 8-inch, I still have them, two 8-inch Yamahas, which are big speakers, but they don't really put out a lot of bass. So I'm cranking this fucking bass guitar, and in my studio, it sounds great. But like through any other normal speaker, it's just like just all bass.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it's just, I should have referenced.
And that's what visualizer software is really good for, because like, yeah, it is still like no matter how experienced you are, it's always good to listen to the mix on as many different circumstances as possible to make sure that it's as well rounded as possible. But generally, after doing that for long enough, you can kind of like, when you do that while watching like reference software, you can see what a good mix looks like in a lot of context for different genres, different styles, etc. And so like in a lot of ways, it can kind of help you get there a lot faster. You still need to run it through paces of referencing it through a bunch of things, but you would probably need to do it a lot fewer times.
Yeah, the way okay.
I was gonna say I derailed you from your original point.
You're good.
You're talking about you have a project for your mix and then a project for your master, and then I cut you off. I don't know where you're
okay, so yeah, well, just to finish up the referencing, the way I'm referencing now is I'm actually using references within Ozone, which is really cool because I think a lot of us use that master assistant, which will give you like a starting point for an EQ curve, a dynamic EQ, a compressor that Ozone will never turn on ever. I don't know why they even bother with it. And then they do a limiter, and the Ozone limiter is fucking trash. From my opinion, a lot of people use it. I think it's awful. It breaks up so early. I don't know why. Anyway, if you can load in a reference, so instead of just listening to your song and being like, the Ozone thinks it should sound like this, it's just a suggestion, and it helps you when you're not a fucking mastering engineer, but we're all trying to be. But you can load in a reference and have it like do the fucking AI shit or whatever with a reference, and that has actually like made Ozone so much more helpful to me. That EQ curve makes so much more sense now. But anyway, yeah, so my greatest fucking engineering thing, I'm just like super proud of this. So I have a stereo file. I love the song. The randomness of the hi-hat worked out really, really good. I think it sounds good. I don't want to make another bounce. And the snare was just too loud. I have a tendency to make snares like way too loud in my mixes. I don't really know why, but I do. And I'm like listening to the song more and more over.
It's hard.
I don't know, dude. I don't know why. It's like I listen to really good lo-fi house or just house in general, and the snare is not that loud. It's really fucking not most of the time. It's actually relatively quiet. It just cuts because it's like, kind of an isolated instrument. Anyway, so my snare was way too loud. So we have a stereo file and a really loud snare. What do we do? Okay. So I tried just doing a multi-band compressor and setting it up over the mids and just like having it chop off once the snare is the loudest kind of thing. It didn't really help. I could just pull down those frequencies with an EQ, but then that fucks up the whole mix. So what can we do? So my idea was I bounced the snare from the project file, just the snare. Okay. Put it into the master file, flip the phase, took the snare right out. Fucking worked perfectly. Just phase canceled just the snare right out. And as we turn down the phase flip snare, the snare comes back. So once, and then I could like literally level it by turning it down. It gets louder, and dude, it worked perfectly. So a little fucking gem I'm sure anyone could have figured that out. And when I was trying it, I'm like, this ain't gonna work. Something's gonna get fucked up because Phase is such a bitch. But no, dude, it sounds perfect.
Well,
It
that's
fucking-
what Soothe does, isn't it?
not
Sort of?
really.
I'm
well,
not super familiar. I'm not super familiar with
I
it,
used
but
to.
that's
I'll tell you what it does. Technically, it kind of is using phase cancellation because when you think about it, any EQ is just phase canceling what you take out, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure on that. What Soothe does is Soothe recognizes resonances,
Mhm.
and so it's a very very dynamic EQ where you set it over kind of like a wide band or over the whole thing or whatever, but you set a band. And it's kind of counterintuitive, but the more you turn that band up, the more it'll cut into that specific frequency stuff. And you'll see it. The visual looks like this.
Yeah.
It's all moving around. It's just cutting out frequencies for you very dynamically. It'll move around and it'll cut a bunch of stuff. Yeah, Soothe is very interesting. It's very CPU intensive. But a lot of times you just throw it on and it just makes a mix sound better.
Yeah.
I think the way I use Soothe is I just go through presets. And a little tip with Soothe is there is a mix knob in that plugin. And the mix knob can be very useful where you turn up Soothe to work at kind of a ridiculous level and then turn down the mix to like 50% or something like that. I've gotten pretty good results doing that as opposed to just doing 100%. So yeah, so I was super proud to figure out that snare thing because now I'm like super happy with that song. And that song is a super, it's pretty unique. It's one of those like Fred again, kind of like crying in the club kind of songs. You know what I mean? I put, it's not an ex's voicemail, but it was a text message that she sent me. And for an artistic thing I was doing when I was doing the open mic at Terra, just for like a song transition, I sent that text in to to a girl who worked on Fiverr, who did like voiceovers, and I had her read it just so I could get that like in a girl's voice. And I ended up like putting that in the song. Like I got a lot of shit going on. My voice is on it on like some voicemail shit. I hate it. I think it sounds super cheesy, but I'm just kind of rolling with it because of course I'm gonna hate it. You know what I mean? Like who knows what it sounds like to other people? Maybe it sounds like shit. I don't know, but I'm rolling with it. The song's already made. So
Give it to me. I like
that's the
it.
spirit.
yeah, I did show you that one. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, got to put a name on it. It's still called my file name. Do you guys have like stupid ass file names for your songs?
Yes.
As an
All of
experimental
them.
electronic musician, oh boy, do I!
My philosophy, my method for naming all my projects, like little music projects, exact same as what Deadmau5 said he does, which is like he'll just look at something in the room and be like, "Yep, that's
That's pretty much what I do.
That's
dude.
exactly what I do. I have a beat called Payday because
Yeah.
I was looking at like a Payday bar wrapper on the table or something.
Yep.
I have a beat called what else? I have some other really goofy ones. I have one called now I'm blanking on them.
What's the
actually.
shaker one called? That one's like
That one was originally
Yes.
called. It had a cool name at first. It was called Skull Crusher for no reason.
Yeah.
up in the skull shaker.
Skull, yeah, but it was called Skull Crusher.
Yeah.
And then I changed it to At the Desk.
At the yeah.
I just called it At the Desk
Yeah.
because I just made it on the spot at the desk and we were recording it at the desk. And so all my stuff is something simple like that. I have one called Sub Salad.
Yeah,
That's a cool one.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna make that song called "No Better Way" because, like, in that like text message voicemail thing, the girl at one point says like, "There's no better way than whatever goes on." So I think I'm just gonna name it that because maybe if you listen to the whole song and you hear that, it'll kind of give you like a little jolt of like,
The thing.
this is
Yeah.
the thing. Yeah, literally.
for sure.
Okay.
But yeah, I number all my projects, so like all my projects have like a number after them. So one of my songs that's kind of in my bank of like maybe releases
So
is called Decade because it was my 100th song, which makes no
Oh.
fucking sense at all because Decade is 10.
Yeah.
I don't know why I did that, but
So do you number them based on release or number them
Just
in
by
order that
project.
you made them?
yeah, by when I made them.
So the numbers are out of order when they release too. Like you should have.
well, I take the
different
number
ones?
off of the
Oh,
name.
it'd be cool if you left them in. Honestly.
Some of them I do leave them in. Like there's one I have right now that I'm definitely releasing, and I named it Oceans for no reason, and it was 107.
Mm.
And the song is just like lo-fi house, like kind of like tech lo-fi house. Sorry to be that guy with all these like brands of music. I know like it's super
These
pretentious.
Fucking genres.
I know, dude. Genres are so exhausting. Anyway, I've been
Yeah.
playing a lot of poker lately. Like one of the kava bars is doing like this like $5 poker thing. And it's super fun. I've just been playing a shitload of poker. I'm actually going to someone's house to play after this. And yeah, Ocean's 11 was like a sick movie.
Mm.
And so I'm probably just gonna leave it as like Ocean's 107 and have my friend who's an artist make me like some like poker chips or something on a piece of art and like run with it. I don't know, dude. Like I think it sounds kind of cool. But yeah, the number thing is actually I recommend it because it's cool to be able to like go through and see and like place things when you like listen back to stuff that you've made. You know what I mean? Like, okay, this is number 19, so this is old as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you know, I don't know. I like it. And also, since your fucking file names are so random, like as we all do, and you fucking forget one, if it's not in your recents for whatever reason, it's gone, dude.
Yeah.
It's
But
gone.
that's-
We can find it.
But see, that's part of the reason why I do it is on purpose. Because my file name thing is I'll work on a track, you know, whatever, and then enter, you know. But then I'll do that until I have like, you know, 20, 30, you know, these sketch projects or whatever. And then when I get sick of one, I'll just sort through all of them until I find one that just inspires me. I'll work on that one
And
for a
work
bit.
on it for a little bit. Yeah.
Get bored of that, do the same thing.
feel
And then after a
I feel
while,
like working on XYZ11 at symbol question mark today.
No, well,
AIDS, booger AIDS.
yes,
XX
that's-
underscore shoddy snipes.
well, that's the funny thing is because after a while, like I'll boil it down to like
Yeah.
10 projects that are like actually fleshed out or fleshed outable, and I'll asterisk those. And then at that point, once I start working on those enough, my brain just starts registering these strings of letters and numbers and symbols as like actual words, like
Can see the code.
incomprehensible. Like
Do not
like,
do this, people. Like,
Yeah,
let
no.
him be what this problem is.
yeah, but then, you know, when it comes time to actually putting the song out, I just, you know, just like you do, get rid of all that. And at that point, I will usually just like either make up a word or use like a cool foreign word
Yeah.
that
I think if I release any of the things that I worked on, I'm just gonna keep it as the dumb name I gave it because
Really?
that's what that's what I know it as.
Yeah. I mean, in electronic music,
And honestly, yeah, I think you're about to say what I'm about to say too.
it doesn't matter.
It's electronic. There's no lyrics on it, so it doesn't really matter
If
what
I
it's
have
called.
lyrics-
Well, I would say in that case, it matters even more depending on what you want the person to get out of it. Because it's one thing to like, you know, do an Autech or an Aphex Twin and just name the song, the hardware that you use to make the track,
Yeah.
complete with zero pretense versus,
Then
you know,
maths.
yeah, yes, exactly. Versus, you know,
Sorry, I
like-
forgot that maths.
like
Very
a
fun.
name
That's a
that
good example for this.
a name that would otherwise like what the fuck, like Nvidia. What about that song is supposed to make? Why am I thinking about graphics cards,
Coelacanth?
video games when I'm listening to the song now?
Coelacanth.
Exactly. Why is this
Prehistoric
fish?
fish.
Yes, exactly. Why is this fish in my head now?
Right.
You know, and so it kind of primed, you know, naming your song.
It's a whole other skill to like come up with names like that. Like I think
Yeah.
Flume fucking nailed it,
Dude.
bro. Like Flume's music sounds like the word flume. It fucking works.
Yeah.
Like so good.
I think
Uh-huh.
Marshmallow fits that too.
That's part of it.
Yeah.
It sounds
he
like
does, yeah.
Sounds like rainbows and
And
marshmallows.
that's like a whole
clouds
branding
and
thing.
stuff.
And it's like,
Yeah.
dude, music production.
Is he a plant?
Who?
Marshmallow.
Marshmallow? No, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure his name was .com before he did Marshmallow. I think that's like the rumor, and I'm pretty sure that's confirmed.
Was
I
that
might be
him?
wrong. I'm sorry, what?
Was that him? Was that confirmed? I heard that.
I'm pretty
rumor.
sure it was. I mean, I could be spitting some bullshit right now, so you know,
Oh.
take this
You
with a
heard it
grain
here
of salt.
first, folks.
Marshmallows.com confirmed.
He
I'm
did,
Ghost in the
he did a
Ox.
rebrand where it's like he wore a helmet and made him way more recognizable and changed his name, and it's like, bro, it fucking worked out.
I
He'd probably be playing the same music if he was still .com.
I
But
prefer
You know-
the Marshmallows Tiesto rumor personally, but that's just me.
my speaking of name schemes, naming stuff, this podcast, Ghost on the Ox,
yeah,
the name for this came about. I think it's like naming stuff is so funny because sometimes you'll try and think really hard about what's an appropriate name for something, but then something comes up that you would have never thought of that fits perfect. And how that name
rarely happens to me.
That-
I'll tell you what.
well, what happened? Well, it's rare, but it can happen, and that's happened with this show, with the podcast. So, when my buddy Kevin and I were thinking about doing a podcast and what we wanted it to be about, our whole thing was we're not celebrities, we're not like known people, so we can't just make a show about nothing and expect people to be into it. We had to like our approach at first was to like think of a niche to fit in,
Sure.
to like draw those particular people. And so we were trying to think of he also produces music, and we were both at the time kind of in a memeified way kind of into like paranormal stuff. And he had on his phone this like it's gimmick, you know, it's whatever, it's who knows how real it is, this like ghost what do you call it, EVP.
Yeah. Electromagnetic. Yeah. EMF.
Yeah,
EMF. Yeah.
Electromagnetic
Frequency.
finder.
So it was some kind of like
frequency.
yeah, it was some kind of like ghost app on his phone. And when we were hanging out in his garage, smoking and hanging out, he'd play music on his Alexa, and we were letting that app just run in the background. And every like 30 seconds or so, it would spit out a word or two
Okay.
of like whatever is it supposedly picking up from the spirits, you know. In reality, I think it's just radio frequencies it's picking
I
up.
don't even know. It's on a phone. It's on like an iPhone.
Yeah.
It's an app.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know
there's
what the
real
fuck this
there's
is.
real versions of
Oh,
that,
100%. Yeah.
but the phone app is just for fun. It's nobody takes it seriously. It's just for fun. But and that's why we had it playing because it was just silly. It was like when the conversation would get dull, it would say something. We're like, oh, the ghosts are thinking about asparagus now, you know.
Oh, God.
So like, what happened was we were like trying to think of what music to play, and then we asked the spirits like, oh, what do you want to play right now? And then literally in that moment, it said something. I don't remember what it was. It doesn't matter, but it said something, and then we looked at each other like, oh shit, the ghost's on the aux right now.
Yeah.
The ghost.
I like it.
That's lore. That's
is lore.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
lore.
And then our niche was going to be crossroads of music and paranormal.
Paranormal stuff.
Ghost on the aux.
I'd love to
It
share
just fits
a ghost
fucking
story with
perfect.
you guys.
Please,
right
because-
after
There you
the
go.
bathroom because
Go
I'm
ahead.
dying right now.
I'm gonna force this to be edited out. Yeah, that's getting edited out. It has to be.
I mean, you said it, not me.
So yeah, that ghost story.
Yeah.
I was
Please let's wrap this up with a ghost story because that's actually a bit of a gimmick on this show. Is I always ask the guests, what experiences do you have with
with ghosts.
aliens, the paranormal,
Oh,
visions of the
I guess
your
we nailed
future,
it.
anything like
Sure. So I got a cool one. I'm in middle school. I was really into Ghost Hunters at the time. The legitimacy of that show remains to be found out. I don't know. Maybe
dubious, at best.
that's
Dubious.
great. So yeah, I was super into the show.
Sorry, I didn't mean to know that.
No, that was just no. You're fine. You're fine. So we go. We take a middle school field trip to St. Augustine, which is notoriously kind of like a ghosty town in Florida. And there's a big lighthouse in St. Augustine. It's kind of like one of the main attractions. So we stay the night over there. We do a ghost tour. Super lame, really boring, even for my like gullible ass. It was like really stupid. So then we're leaving St. Augustine and we stop at the lighthouse on the way home. We go up the lighthouse. We go down. Our tour guide's name is Paul. We go in the lighthouse keeper's. What's it called? We go into his house and we check that out. We're getting back on the bus and Paul goes, "Oh, by the way, guys, watch Ghost Hunters tonight at 7." And I was like, "What the fuck?" Okay, sure, right? So I get home and I turn it on at 7. And sure enough, the fucking Ghost Hunters drive all the way from California over to St. Augustine. And they show up at the St. Augustine Lighthouse. And fucking Paul is there on TV, right? Super cool. So, he's telling him like, yeah, this place is like mad haunted. And I'm like, no fucking way. I was there that day that I'm watching this on TV. And so, they go up and down the lighthouse. They're seeing so much shit. They're seeing like,
So you're going all the same places you had just been.
I was there that day.
Yeah.
And they're seeing like a white lady at the fucking top of the like white as in like a ghost,
Mm.
like at the top of the stairs. And it's a spiral staircase, right? It's a lighthouse. And they're seeing like activity at like this point. And so they put a flashlight behind it, like above it on the staircase, and then they walk up like towards it, and then like they see like a shadow go in front of the flashlight. So like I haven't really experienced many ghosts, but like that scared the fucking shit out of me when I was a kid because I was like, them motherfuckers came home with me, man. They're here with me right now. Like, there's no way they did it.
Well, it's extra spooky that you were just there.
That day.
definitely-
And I was also in middle school, so I was like that gullible. Like
No, that's
yeah, so that's definitely the best ghost story.
I've always kind of approached paranormal, and what's a better word, because I want to encompass like alien, supernatural / paranormal. I've always approached all that stuff from like I'm skeptical but I hope it's real type of thing,
Yeah.
just because I think it's fascinating and interesting. And I feel like whether there's so many people with stories that it can't be entirely fake, any of it, because there's some kind of, whether it's a trick of their mind or something, there is something that's like a common thread that is real amongst everybody's experiences. And I want to like, I'm interested in like hearing out people's stories because of that, because like same thing with like religion too, like with people's beliefs and stuff, because all of it's just, I don't know, it's just fascinating.
Yeah.
And I'm very like, I try not to be quick to shut down something, even if it sounds a little far-fetched. I want to hear it out, because I've had a couple of really weird experiences. I've told this story in the podcast a couple of times, so I'll just tell you off air.
Sure.
People have already heard it. But I've had a couple of my own experiences that were weird, that felt out of my control. So it makes me sympathize for everybody else who's had something similar,
Yep. Yeah, I haven't had too many experiences. That one really freaked me out. I've seen some crazy shit on the internet, of course, but like, I mean, whatever.
only paranormal experience that I've had was seeing a drawer open.
that can be jarring.
It was, but I mean, you say it like that, and it's like, yeah, whatever.
The I guess the thing that makes me remain skeptical about all of it, like keeping that skepticism like healthy, is the fact that there's very few pieces of like hard evidence of any of it. All of it is either easily faked online, very easily, or just word of mouth that somebody can make up, or it can get twisted through like the telephone game, or
yeah.
So,
It's an exciting topic, so it's hard to take anything for face value.
Yeah. But I kind of hope it's real. Like, I don't know why I hope it's real, but I just think
just to like break up the mundaneness of life.
Yeah.
Like,
bro, imagine how like many like world religions would just collapse overnight and implode if like ghosts were proven.
oh
to
yeah,
be,
right.
Well, I mean, a lot of
Just people would think that completely confirms their religion.
Yeah.
Bro. Like,
But others would,
I'm pretty sure most religions probably have some form of afterlife.
well, they do.
Yeah, so it's like,
But I think there's other religions probably that would be like I guess what I'm getting at is the interpretation. Every like religion has so many different interpretations, and then within the religion there's even subsects interpretations of afterlife and all this stuff. But if we had hard evidence of something happening for real, there'd be so many that would feel like,
yo, what the fuck happened in Miami? Do you guys remember that?
oh, the alien.
Yeah, there was like
thing.
an alien in the mall, dude. I heard about
Shadow aliens.
Yeah,
What?
I did.
Shadow
I
Wizard
didn't
Money
look-
Gang?
I didn't look up anything because I was like, this is so big that this news will just come to me through like my normal
it didn't.
YouTube channel
And it didn't.
nothing. I didn't hear another
Yeah.
thing about it.
Yes.
Yeah, dude, there was like
A few weeks ago.
something like 100 cops at the fucking Miami Mall or some shit like that. I'm making up the
So-
number, but
So there was two story. I don't know the final outcome, but there were two simultaneous stories going on when that broke, and it was like conflicting stories.
Mhm.
The like very quick spreading rumor was people spotted like shadow beings around this mall, and they were scared and confused, and then a hello cop showed up. And then the other story that happened at the same time was actually, no, there was no shadow beings. It was some teenagers were like causing trouble at this mall or whatever, and that alerted police. But then,
I mean,
but that can happen. But then the far-fetched part of that was the fact that the police like it was like hundreds of cop cars for what? Like it was like enough cops to like quell a riot. Like why?
Maybe they had guns.
Maybe
the aliens have guns. Our guns don't work on them, so we need more guns.
shadow people.
I mean, the shadow people have guns.
That's an album title right there.
Yeah, the shadow.
And they're unregistered.
Oh yeah.
Oh, my God.
Shadow people and their unregistered firearms.
weird. Oh, my God.
What else is new?
I keep my GAT like my hypercam unregistered. Well,
I feel like that's as strong a closing line as
yeah.
any.
Beautiful.
Shout out people with guns, everybody. Thank you so much for
Yeah,
doing this.
thanks for having me, guys. It's super fun. Never done a podcast before, but I mean,
You were
good
great.
conversation. Yeah, this
You're a
is a good
great
time.
talker.
Thank you.
You know how you know
Slight ADHD, so this is like my fucking
Good.
This is my bread and butter, man. This-
because you would be you may be surprised at how many people actually like struggle to like not be entertaining, like because that's like its own thing,
yeah,
but just talk, like
Yeah,
elaborate on things,
Mhm.
like conversate. Because
yeah.
there's so many people that I guess I don't know if it's a combination of personality and the fact that they're being recorded.
It's so much probably the recording, dude. Recording
Maybe.
is such a bitch.
Yeah.
Like
But like there's so many people well, I mean, I feel like I experienced it in real life too. Where there's some people it's just hard to talk to because they give you like 1 word, 2 word, 3 word answers to every
Yeah.
single
Oh
thing.
yeah, yeah.
And then they do the exact same thing when you record it, and you have to like talk extra to draw stuff out of them. Anyways, all that to say, I talk too much. That's why I do this. It's fitting. Do you have last final thing? Do you have anything coming up you want to plug, promote? Where
yeah, sure.
social media also?
So
Like,
yeah,
what's going
my
on?
I go by the name Pedal Days. So it's that's Pedal Days DAZE and pedal like flower petal. So we're talking PATEL, right?
PE.
I don't even know. It's definitely Pedal Days like flower petal and then DAZE. Anyway, yeah, so it's that on everything. It's Pedal Days Music on Instagram. It's Pedal Days on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever the hell.
Links will be in description.
Yeah, that'd be helpful. Thank you.
I'll throw something on screen too,
Yeah.
probably.
I'm gonna be releasing a song pretty soon here called "Sorry" that I'm super proud of, and it's like definitely leaning more into the lo-fi style, which I'm super happy to like kind of go more of that direction since I claim that so much, and then like low key stray from it a lot. So yeah, definitely leaning into that.
healthy,
Excited for
kinda.
that. Yeah, and I DJ at these kava bars around here every once in a while. So if you follow me on Instagram, I'm always like posting about like where I'll be and whatnot. So
Do you have a set like place, like not a residency? But
I
like a
definitely
set
I play at
schedule?
Island Stewart a lot.
Okay.
That's definitely like my main gig.
If
They
you're in the
stopped-
area, come out.
Yeah, they stopped doing their live music Saturdays, which kind of blows because that was kind of like one of my main gigs. But usually, if they're doing an event and I can be there and I'm not working, I'm pretty much booked. Like I'm really good friends with the manager there. She's super nice. So
Awesome.
so yeah,
Right on.
thanks for having me, guys. This is super fun.
Final words.
No.
Bye, guys.
In the context of, I appreciate that I'm not under investigation. Anyway, you're fired.